hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday, right? Right? Yeah. Still not used to this schedule somehow. That's weird. Can everybody hear me okay? Hey, Serenity. Happy Friday. Thank you for your sub for 18 months. Did you get your package yet? I included something interesting in there. Keep asking you if you've gotten it. Hopefully you get it soon. It's been like 2 weeks. Oh, you can hear me just fine? Okay, cool. Good. This lighting. I might have to move my lamp somewhere else. This is way too close. Actually. According to the information package in Frankfurt. Is that good or is that bad? Hopefully that's not too bad. Okay. It's in Germany. I'm assuming Frankfurt is a stop before you then, yeah? Hey, okay. Morena? Is that right? Or is it Morena? Is it Morena? Welcome. What's up? Oh, and Mogwai's with you? Cute! Oh my god. Bees! Hey! Long time, man. Where you been? Yes, I can. Oh, that is a bit louder than usual. How's that, Serenity? We good? Alright, and Marina, just so you know, the color on the camera is a bit off, so it's not completely accurate. Oh, good. Good, Serenity. Good. Let's go to tried and true playlist, the one that I'm just always playing. The first one, Morena, it's a beautiful name. I just never heard it, so I wanted to make sure I got it right. And I just wanted to confirm if I was going to be saying your name a bunch. But welcome. Thank you for joining on the stream. Let's see. So just so you can see the whole thing, because my camera right now can't really go much higher. So we've got the banner. We've got his mace scepter, which I kind of combined the two with some fluff on it. We've got that little T-Rex guy too. I'm gonna make it more of a gold emblem on his belt here. And then I chose green and yellow because it seemed like you had a couple bows that were green and yellow, or like a handkerchief around his neck, something like that. Plus it also fits the demeanor. Like usually for, you know, the ones that are a little bit, not evil per se, but not exactly good. You know, they're not paladin material, but usually you want to choose colors that are like red or greens or yellows, stuff like that, so it fit really well. And then down here we've got the peanut butter jar, we've got some bananas, and the 3 toys that you had shown me. And they're kind of mutilated. Not too much. I wanted to make sure they were still recognizable, but... So that's where we're at right now. And like I said, flats are not indicative of, you know, the final product. These are very much a scary stage, like I said, for a bunch of people, because they're like, is it gonna look like that? No, it's not gonna look like that. Plus, all these spots you see that are empty, those are gonna be that gold that I end up putting in. So don't freak out about that either. That's gonna end up looking pretty cool. And then I shade it in post too. So this is probably about 50% done at the moment, so we still got a little ways to go. I may not even finish it on stream because I still have to do the pastel pass. Your mom made it up? It sounds legit. That's a really pretty name. Props to your mom. Especially for being unique, but not like crazy unique where people are like, what? That actually sounds like a super legit name, so like I said, props to your mom. She's creative. Okay. And I noticed in one of his pictures he had 2 little teeth that were out, and I figured that would actually kind of help out the picture, so Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you love it already. So right now, like I said, the eyes look a little nutty. I'll do those first so you can kind of see what I mean where it's not like final quality looking, you know? How's everybody's week been? My week has been great up until today. Today has been, to be quite honest, a shit show. So much has just gone wrong. Like stupid things, really stupid things. The post office. Usually I'm really good about my packages. I don't rush them. I double, triple check them. But for some reason, one of the things went wrong on it that made it so one of the packages had a duplicate tracking number to another one. So, I had to go back to the post office. I had to grab the packages, bring them back home, reprint the thing after I figured out what was wrong with which one had the right tracking number. It was a whole thing, man. Then I was almost late for a business meeting on the phone, and then I figured out that I left my phone in the car, which I never do. Gabe, back me up on this.
Yeah.
Do I ever leave my phone in the car?
No.
No. So today has been a lot of weird, not Ashley type things. So I'm hoping the night goes better. I'm not leaving the house, so nothing can really go wrong if you leave the house, right? Knock on wood. So he's got his little eyes now. I want him to look a little nutty, because he seems like he's kind of a crazy little boy. He's cute. He's so cute. Like all the pictures you gave me, he was adorable. But he also looked like he could have that little streak in him, you know? And I think that's hilarious and adorable. So many of the little dogs have that. It's funny. They also seem to have Napoleon complexes, where they think they're bigger than they are. We're actually going to see another dog tomorrow to see if we can adopt him too. And he might be a little spitfire too. He might be a good companion for our bulldog. Too busy for your taste? Oh God, Serenity, I'm sorry. I hope you get at least a day or two to relax. You know, I usually don't have much to complain about with the post office, and really, like, this time was my fault completely. I'm actually surprised they called me to tell me that. I didn't even... Well, I guess they probably had me on file because of the P.O. box.
Yeah.
But usually, like, I've shipped over 400 portraits, and honestly, I've never had a problem. Never had a problem. The only problem that I came close to having, which is still kind of up in the air, is one I shipped to South Africa. Okay, but no other problems. Like, they've been great. It was me who messed up this time, but it's weird because not to sound egotistical, but I never mess up. Gabe, back me up.
Right.
I usually never mess up. Like, I'm an A student when it comes to this kind of stuff in life, like shipping things. I'm very particular. So I really didn't want that to, be the case, so. How many dogs do we have? Right now we just have the two. We've got Butters, who is a Pom, who is a rescue, who had a pretty hard life so far. One of the worst stories I've probably ever heard for a rescue. And Bruni, our bulldog, she's about 8 or 9 months at this point. She's a spoiled brat, but she's sweet and she's very smart. So I found that a lot of the smart dogs are kind of spoiled. But not just the two for now, but we figured since now we're kind of cutting our traveling in half, basically, because we won't be traveling together anymore for conventions and stuff. It's just going to be like off and on, me and then him and then me and then him sort of thing, or whoever fits better at a certain convention. So because of that, someone's always home with the dogs. So we figured, well, why not get more dogs and rescue a couple? Because if we're going to be home anyway, we could actually do some good here. So we figured since, we could do that, let's look into it. And, Pomeranians, which funny enough, the other one's a palm too, eat like next to nothing. They almost don't exist. So we figured, well, you know, we could adopt a couple of those and just help out, you know. Instead of just fostering, we could just adopt them right out. So we've been basically doing that sort of thing and looking for some good ones. So the boy we're gonna go see tomorrow, he looks like a cutie too. Too many appointments? Oh, Serenity, you poor thing. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to go? I honestly want to do all the chainmail first, because I like what happens once the chainmail gets going. It kind of pops. And I think it kind of helps the pictures start speaking a bit more. You'll see more of the textures start coming out now. But yeah, Marina, I'm glad you wanted to watch the rendering portion, because honestly, I feel like the color of like portion is just kind of boring to watch. I mean, I think the only like way it could be valuable is if you were learning how to do markers and you watched how I use the markers, but really, if you're not watching it for that, it's kind of boring. And it can be kind of time consuming, because I'll do a block of color, like I'll do the cape in the other part here, and you know, I'll be like, okay, now what? And I sit back and I just look and try to figure out other colors, because you never really want colors next to each other too much, because, you know, like this green here, I didn't like these touching, but I'm going to be changing them enough to where the lighting is different, so that's okay. But like doing this green and all that, no, that would have been too much. So you gotta think about the colors before you put them down, especially with marker, that you won't be able to, you know, obviously change it. You can tint it, but you can't change it. Hey, Looney Goons. Good, man. How are you? What was your day? Long day of work, good, and long day of work, bad. Which one? Do some metal here, too. How are your allergies, Gabe?
They're fine. I was having some problems this morning with my eyes, but I think that was because of the...
Is the fan pointed at you?
No, they
Grass.
cut the grass, and
Yeah.
then they were doing the trimming.
Yeah, the weed
But then-
whacker.
Yeah, but then right after the trimming, there was another kid that was blowing all the stuff off of the sidewalk. So it was just
Oh,
like,
God.
the air was just all grass.
Oh, and for those that are international, Serenity, I'm looking at you too. If you guys were interested in my mythical monthly guardians with the, you know, the pips and stuff and the stories, it's basically a monthly story subscription. I added a tier on my Patreon for international people. And the only thing that sucks about it, though, is that to save both of us money on shipping, it, instead of shipping monthly, it ships every 3 months, but it'll have 3 months worth in it. So it's at least a way I can offer international, otherwise it's kind of impossible. I just shipped a pin international today. A tiny pin that weighs less than an ounce was $13. It's so ridiculous. So I kind of figured the shipping on the monthly guardians, I'll still be losing some money on those for international, but I'd rather offer it than not, and especially since it's basically a pleasure tier for me. Like, I do it because I want to do it. I want to offer it.
You know what's really crazy?
What?
Is that there's this toy dude that I follow,
Mm-hmm.
who's in the UK, and I'm wanting to get something from him.
Yeah.
He's got like a little muscle dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $10, and then his shipping is like $3.
How? How?
Because he's in the UK, and his, I guess the shipping from the UK is to another country is a bad, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, shipping even to here is like $3?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
I mean, unless I'm completely wrong on it.
I think you're completely wrong on it. That doesn't even
Checking.
sound right.
him to ship here.
Oh, Kristen! Hi!
Kristen.
How are you? Are you okay? How have you been? Ooh, paycheck day. Really? Paycheck on the first week? Is that typical? Usually it's the end of the month,
First
isn't it?
of the 15th,
Wow.
as they say.
No, Marina, it's it is hard, but since we're freelance, like if I was full time again, I would not have 3 dogs. Especially since they'd be crated all day, I would not even do that. That feels irresponsible to me. So the only reason we do it is because someone is always home with them. We're here all the time. We don't even go on dates anymore. We just stay home or like go get food and bring it back if we want the date feel or something. Like, we don't really go anywhere. And the only place we religiously go is the gym every day, and we switch off. Like, I'll go, he'll watch the dogs, I come home, he goes while I watch the dogs. So it's a good situation for them, and especially the ones that I feel are a little bit like they had harder lives. Like Butters, she was in a hoarding situation with about 18 dogs total, and they were kept in rabbit cages in a trailer. And the woman that was collecting them apparently was mentally unstable. She was mentally ill. And she just kept collecting dogs, like, off Craigslist and stuff. And so, I mean, there were a lot of dogs, and apparently some even ate each other, which is horrible. So, Butters is a little bit skittish with loud noises and stuff, understandably so. I'm sure the trailer doesn't have the best soundproofing. But we really wanted to, you know, be able to offer a better life for a couple like her. Just because, you know, she shouldn't be put in a crate again. You know, if she's been in a crate all her time, then, you know, who would do that again? So we figured we were a perfect kind of situation for that, seeing as she'd never have to be in a crate again. So that worked out really nice. We really wanted her to. She has one eye that's blind, so it's all white, and it looks like she's got a moon in it, which I love that. I think that's beautiful. She's unique, too. I really like that. And I never thought I'd own a pom, because I usually like big dogs, but she is a perfect dog. Oh God, Serenity, really? Hi, Greg. How you doing? Oh, good, Kristen. I was so worried about you for a while when you were, like, constantly sick. Have you been able to eat anything other than bananas? It was bananas, right? I'm right about that? It's nice to see you guys here. Honestly, the stream's been pretty dead this summer. And usually it is pretty dead during the summer, but it's like, it's been remarkably dead this summer. Like, really crazily good, just dead. Gabe's has been dead too. A couple streams we maybe had 3 people there. It's just because everybody's busy, out and about. Winter just seems to be more, I don't know, more the time to stay in and stream, I guess. I'm good, Greg. I'm good. Oh. I'm gonna butcher this, I'm sure. E-Love Art, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Gabe's streams are usually too late for me to watch, Serenity said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why he switched to so late, honestly. Did you think you'd get more people?
Well, I wasn't getting any people then either.
Oh, I see.
So I was trying to
Right.
figure my thing out.
Guess that makes sense. You're welcome.
figure if I'm gonna stream during the day,
Yeah.
like, you think people would probably be out during the summer, maybe during the day? I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know. I think it's still a demographic thing. Like, people are gonna go out, they're gonna go out. People are gonna stay in, they're probably always in.
Yeah.
You know. You can probably hear my bulldog snoring. She has been sleeping like all day. She usually is pretty rambunctious for a bully, but I feel like she's blown up in size in the past couple weeks, so maybe she's tired because she's been growing so much. Because, good lord, she is just exploded. Okay, Marina, I did want to ask regarding Mogwai's ears. In some pictures, he has really dark streaks in him, and in other pictures, there are no dark streaks. Are there more dark streaks or less? I didn't know how much of that to put in. I see, Serenity. Well, I'm glad you're here. You know. I'm examining now. Yeah, because his hair color seemed to change in the pictures, and I was like, oh no. And some of these he's more gold, and some of these he's more, like, beige. So I tried to go in between with the marker, but I can tint it with the pastels once I do that pass too. So we should still be good. If you want to, sure. I just know you've sent me a few pictures where they are dark and where they aren't. I'm looking at one right now where it just... Maybe it's underneath. I think he had just gotten a haircut. Yeah, it might just be underneath, honestly. He's going for a haircut tomorrow. Oh. It's only due to my shitty work times I may stay up at a regular rate. Oh, I see, Serenity. Do you think having a regular day job, though, excuse me, would actually help your sleep schedule? Do you think that's part of the reason it's bad, or... Alright. I need this to be very sharp. So, lately I've been using, to get a really sharpened tip, I've been using a hand sharpener. And it gets it really, really good. Like, my regular sharpener is nice, but this one really gets it. Oh, it's worse? Oh, damn. I could see that, Serenity. Yeah. It sucks when you can't figure out what kind of person you are. Like, for a long time I thought I was a morning person, but that was just because I was forced to be. And then once I went freelance, I realized I am more of a night person. Not crazy nighttime though, because there was a time I was staying up till like 4 a.m. and stuff, and that wasn't good. But like midnight or 1, I do like that. It's just I didn't like sleeping till noon. That sucked because half the day felt like it was gone. But getting up at like 9 or 10, that's okay. I can deal with that. Oh, okay. Oh, my big picture. Oh, he's got such beautiful, like, wavy locks. Okay, so it's a little bit gray underneath even. Okay, I'm gonna try to work that in. That's more at the tips though, right? It's like a low light. He has low lights. He's a cutie. Okay, so maybe we can work that in kind of by doing like a little peekaboo thing where it seems like, at least that's what they call it at the hair salon, peekaboo. Where you can kind of see them poking out, but it's not a like dominant color thing. And then once I start doing the white on top, then it should be able to come through a bit more. Kind of like that. Cause yeah, it's crazy that like some of the pictures were just so different in terms of color. Like in some he looked almost like he was a brunette. I was like, no, I think majority of these he's gold. I won't, don't worry about it. People have hair, it's okay. Give him just a little bit of a furrowed brow. Not too much. I don't want him to be too evil. I just want him to be a little bit extra mischievous. I've got this picture up of him looking at me and he's just so cute. The whole, I didn't do anything, what do you mean? That destroyed itself. When he gets a haircut, I could see that. Yeah, the Pom we have right now, Butters, she, the foster gave her a haircut before we got her, which kind of blew us away because we had only seen her long-haired on the website. So when we saw her in person, she had like a really close shave and she was like different colors than she was in the picture. She actually has like a racing stripe down her back. So I can totally tell that, you know, if they get, when the little dogs get haircuts, totally changes their whole color system. Because I think their undercoat, especially long-haired dogs, their undercoats can sometimes be a different color. Because the bulldog doesn't have an undercoat, so I assume if she got shaved down even more, which she's already a short hair, that you'd be able to just see the same thing. But the Pom seems like a whole different story. So the colors on this in person are a little bit more drab, but that's on purpose. And then once I've done the rendering pass, then I go back in with pastels, which I'm not sure if I'll get to that tonight on stream or not, but I go back over it and I pop the color back in using those, which also makes the color last a little bit longer, because if it was just marker, I think over time it kind of fades. But I mean, when I say over time, I mean years. But if anybody's been following my Instagram, I've been doing this 30 flowers challenge. Hopefully I'll get time tonight to do today's, but Every day there's a different flower that we have to incorporate. This one was Lily of the Valley. This one was called a tansy, which I don't think we have here in the States. But there's a beetle that is the only thing that can eat it. Otherwise it's too poisonous for everything else, so I made sure to include him. And then I picked clover for this day. And I've got a little porcupine eating clover. I've been having those up for sale too, so if anybody wants those, just DM me and let me know. I'm probably gonna sell them all, bring them to cons with me, just because it's like, since they're fun for me to do, you know, and I like doing them, it's more, you know, when it's done, it's for other people, it's not for me anymore. So. You work on comics, Gabe?
Yeah.
You gonna make your deadline or whatever?
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you for the follow, Shut. How you doing? Oh, and a sub? Dang, thank you. Twitch Prime. Dang, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How are you? Oh, did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
That was Butters.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe more people are inside today because of yesterday. Back me up if you guys can confirm this. Because most people were like out yesterday, maybe today they're like, I'm gonna stay home. I could totally see that, even though it's like a Friday. You know, yesterday was a holiday and whatever. Oh, Butters. I think she's having nightmares. Oh, that's your husband? Well, thank you, sir. That was very sweet of you. Can you hear the little snores too? There's the big long snores, but then there's the little wimpy snores, and that's the new one. Which I've never known a pom to snore, so that's pretty cute. Sometimes you can hear. Yeah, she's right next to me too. Bruni's been a little bit jealous. It's been kind of rough. She really wants to be like, you know, pet and stuff if Butters is getting pet. So it's one of those things you have to remind her, hey, you know, you're loved too. I mean, she is still a baby too. That's the other thing. And when she plays with her, she tries to play a little too hard and forgets she's like 50 pounds. And Butters is like 12 pounds. So basically she's just getting pummeled. Like there have been a couple times Bruni's just run over her. Bruni's fast. For being as big as she is fast. So it happens in like a blink of an eye if she's all bridled up. Kind of like hiding things like this peanut jar too. Where it's like you kind of have to look and see what it is. I don't like things to be too blatant and out there. Because that can just get, I don't know, boring. I like Easter eggs. like the T-Rex too. I mean, he's a little out of place if you don't know the Easter eggness of it, but you know, to the owners, this all feels a very, you know, cohesive. That's our boy, you know. You're welcome. I'm glad you think it's awesome. Believe me, it'll get a little bit more awesome by the time I'm done, just because right now it's what I affectionately call the ugly stage. It's kind of where it's trying to be its final form, but it's not quite there. It's usually the phase I get the most worried about when I'm showing owners, because they're like, oh, that? Okay, can you do something else to it, like, you know, maybe? And I'm like, I'm not done. Just wait. If I get done and you want, you know, some more color popped in, I can try to do that. But otherwise, it's like, you know, they don't realize. So I'm glad you guys do. You seem to be very understanding of that. How was everybody's 4th of July? Does anybody have a story? I'm actually surprised because I thought Butters was going to be a mess, but she didn't really respond to the fireworks at all. I don't know if she really heard them either. Like the first day I think we got her, it thunderstormed and she was a mess. But since then, I don't know if she's just gotten more comfortable or maybe she didn't even hear it last night. But I don't know. Hold on. Nose is running. Oh, was that good, Marina? I wanted to see that. Oh, really, Serenity? Oh no! Was that dog always with your mom? Like all the time, and then when your mom would give attention to something else? It seems like they weren't used to her even being, you know, friendly with other things. It's weird because we took Bruni to like puppy playtimes and stuff, so she's been socialized. It's just, I don't know, I think Butters being like in her beds and stuff. I mean, the sad thing about Butters is she doesn't know how to play. Like, since she was just in a crate all the time, she doesn't know what play is. She's also very picky about food and you know, kind of scared of things, but like she kind of tries to play and it's kind of pathetic, but she doesn't do chews, she doesn't play fetch, she doesn't like any toys. We've tried, you know, but so I mean, I guess at least Bruni's lucky in that way. She doesn't have to share her toys, but I'm not a big horror person either, but it did look like psychologically horror kind of, which I appreciate those more than slasher films, but it looked like it was more psychological. Oh, I see. So Serenity, maybe your mom was like the first bit of affection that, you know, someone had shown to that dog for a while. Oh, poor rescues. Gabe and I didn't realize how intricate the adoption process has become. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, they even, I mean, I'm glad for it, but you gotta jump through hoops. Like, adopting dogs is not easy. The past 2 places, they do, like, home inspections, which, you know, like I said, I appreciate that. So that they don't probably end up in a hoarding situation similar to Butters. But, like, there's a whole process now. You have to do a phone interview. Like I said, you have to do the home inspection, and then they have this thing that's almost like a waiting period, so you can kind of mull it over and think about it to make sure that's what you want and what's right for you and your family and stuff. It's crazy. But I'm sure actually if you're going like through a humane society, you can do it like that day. I'm pretty sure the Humane Society does it like a lot quicker. So I remember reading on one of the rescue websites like that adoption takes time if you want something quicker to go to the Humane Society. Which, I mean, the only reason I can think of you wanting an animal quick is if it was for someone's birthday or something, or a gift, which you shouldn't do. Don't give people animals as gifts. It's kind of like, here, take this burden that you haven't thought of for, you know, implementing into your life cycle. It's like, okay. Hey, Corey! Oh, I watched Cabin in the Woods. I like that one for a bunch of reasons. I like that Sigourney Weaver was in it. I like that it was a Lovecraft-inspired movie. That was cool, because there aren't many of those, honestly. I thought it was good. It was fun. Really? Oh, Corey, that's so good. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, she's honestly great already. The only thing that's sad is, like I said, she doesn't really know how to play. So hopefully, you know, if we get that other Pom, you know, too, that maybe he'll help bring her out of her shell too, because he's her size. Because Bruni's not exactly encouraging, you know, that. So, see, I don't want to be a jerk, but I really strongly feel that if you work over 8 hours a day, you probably shouldn't have dogs, you know? Or if you do, maybe have, you know, the walker people, you know, the people that walk your dog or spend time with them or something. Because that's way too long to be alone.
Well, if it's like a one dog, that's great. Like
Yeah.
a dog just alone.
I suppose if you had two dogs that could play with each other that weren't caged separately, yeah. But I don't know. I think if you like my hamster, if I just have my hamster, he's fine. He's so hands off. He does what he wants when he wants. He's a grumpy old man. I love him for it, but I think hamsters and fish, but they shouldn't be for kids, in my opinion. Hamsters and fish are not for kids. Fish maybe, depending on the fish, but hamsters, no. I don't know where people got this idea that they're for kids. They are so fragile. It's ridiculous. Maybe even a guinea pig would be better for a kid to have than a hamster, just because they're more durable. But hamsters, oh god, they break so easily. One of my worst memories was a friend of mine had a hamster, and I had hamsters when I was growing up, but I was very good with them, I'll be honest. I mean, I've always been kind of good with animals, but she wasn't. And she had a hamster. She put him in the ball, and he went down the stairs when she wasn't looking. And I remember, like, crying, running after him down the stairs after I heard it, and she was like, oh no, he'll be fine. I was like, no! And I picked him up, and he was, like, stunned. He was not moving. I thought he was dead. Like, he went down a flight of stairs in a ball, and it took him a couple minutes to wake up. He was knocked out. Like, that's really sad. Yeah, little animals require, you know, little finesse, I think. But, like, bigger animals that require, you know, some love. Like, I feel like cats, though. Cats are standoffish, too. They can take care of themselves. They don't require as much love, I think, as dogs do. They want it, but on their own schedule. All the cats I did anyway, except one. I had one that was pretty affectionate. She acted more like a dog. But most of the cats I had were like, don't bother me, I'm busy. I'm like, okay. You do you. Oh, this light, sorry, keeps blowing things out. Yeah, since hamsters are nocturnal anyway, you know, they don't really even move until evening. So they're pretty okay if you're an adult and you want a pretty hands-off pet that's still somewhat entertaining. But also don't get them at Petco. See if you can get them from a breeder, because then they've been accustomed to people holding them. Usually the Petco rodents are a little bit PTSD. They don't really like being held or anything. Special in that way too. What kind of cat was it, Serenity? Where is my party people at? Where are your party people? Eliza, they are here. They have been waiting for you. Good job finishing Journey June, my dude. Cow cat. Cute. A European Shorthair. Well. She sounds adorable. How's your Friday, Eliza? How you doing? Those that are waiting for the Journey June surveys, I'm gonna try to get those out tonight, and then you'll have a few days to fill them out. And if you haven't finished yet and you still gotta finish it, that's okay. Like I said, you got a couple days. We have given you at least 2 extra weeks, which I feel like maybe I should have told more people in the beginning they'd have 2 extra weeks. I did say they'd have extra time. I just didn't say how much. I think I was more strict last year with it, but this year it's like, pfft, it's okay. You want a class, do the work, you're good. Goodness. The contrast on this is kind of nuts. Does not look accurate. That's good, but doesn't it feel better that if you got to do some rewrites in some areas, like that's better than finishing an entire story, you know? I guess that's okay. This contrast is just what's killing it. Kind of like that. Looking for burbs. That's good.
I need the goddess. Are you the goddess?
Why did you think of that
I
video?
have no idea.
Oh god.
I'm looking for the goddess.
Honestly, that video is probably a perfect anything of the 80s to show someone. It's like, oh, you want to know what the 80s were like? Here.
The dating scene in the 80s?
Huh?
The dating scene in the 80s?
I'd say just the 80s in general, because I mean how they're dressed. It's got a smattering of different kinds of men that show you like successful and stay at home with their mom. You know, you've got the whole gambit there.
I was gonna say, I wish they had, wish somebody would do a female version of that.
Oh, it'd be so cute. There'd be
But-
so many ladies with like curly hair and glasses.
But the ladies didn't do that.
They
have
didn't.
That.
No.
They didn't have that for ladies. They didn't need it. I mean, like,
I
just the
guess.
ladies would pick the men.
That's true. Well, there you go. That's another part of the 80s.
Man, do I miss malls.
I miss malls being fun.
Yeah.
Now they're just like, honestly, they just, if you're like, I gotta go to the mall.
Yeah. Nobody wants to go there.
No one wants to go to the mall. I remember when we were kids, it's like, heck yeah, mall. Let's go.
But now it's like, let me just go on Amazon real quick. I'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or if you really need something now, it's like, I gotta go to Walmart.
Target, yeah.
I hope they have.
I don't go to Walmart unless I'm gonna have to.
But it sucks because, like, Target sometimes doesn't have specific things. Like, if you want any sort of, like car stuff, you know, like, I need some fuses. Or
Yeah,
I
they don't
need
have, like, intense custom stuff.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Like,
They don't have screws, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, or they might have a little bit of selection, but they don't. They
Yeah.
don't have a lot.
That's
you go to
true.
Walmart.
Oh, tell me when I'm off screen.
You find some mechanics in there.
Yeah. Sorry, I get in the zone and suddenly I'm off screen.
Or like spray paint. Target ain't got spray
Yeah,
paint.
Target doesn't have spray paint.
You need a.
I think of it like
fabric?
this, like Walmart is kind of the Home Depot, where Target's kind of Menards, where those are more aesthetics.
Yeah.
They're more for like decorating after you've gotten the foundation, but like the other two stores are more for the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Corey, how you been? You still here? Overall, would you guys say your summers have been busy? Or would you say it's kind of uneventful? I'm curious. I remember my summers growing up were just me at the computer. I was just always on the computer.
Really?
Yeah. After 12, I was always on the computer.
Mm.
Like before that, I was a street kid. I loved my bike. I could do tricks on my bike. I was pretty cool. Then once AOL came along, wow. Now you can have friends without seeing them. It's great. The malls here are not what they used to be either. Isn't that weird? Ugh. Yeah, I haven't seen Ready Player One yet. I haven't even seen if it's been made free or not.
I don't know. I think it's still.
Serenity, I'm gonna have to report on how many JJ stories next week. Because once I get the surveys in, I'll be able to tell. But right away, it seems like a lot. It's just this year I gave the option of doing it offline too. So now it's really hard to tell just at a glance. So we'll really have to wait till those surveys come in and see. Because I think there might have been a few people that didn't even post anything. How do I sharpen my colored pencils? 2 ways. I've got this awesome sharpener I love, which also happens to sharpen my pastels too. And it's got 3 settings of bluntness or sharpness, whichever you want to think about. But it's called an AFMAT. I got it on Amazon. It's good. We bought 2 of them and they've both been good. But they don't get it like super, super, super sharp. So when I need it super, super, super sharp, I just take this little Tupperware and I take this little like dollar metal sharpener and I just sharpen it to the point that I need. Cause yeah, that sharpener is good, but it can't get the precision that a hand sharpener can. Like, look at this. It's way better. Yeah, it's way good. And it doesn't have the problem where sometimes sharpeners, like electric sharpeners, can do the thing where the wood is uneven. So you get that giant, like, splinter of wood that just comes up and covers the lead. And it's like, what can I do with this? I can't do anything with this. started dating someone.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow.
That's good, man. I'm proud of you. Get some personal life in there, you know? Because otherwise, what's the point? I get diving into your career, but I feel like if you do that, you do miss out on some stuff. So balance, right? Balance is always the answer. You know, Eliza, and that's honestly part of it. You gotta waste some lead to get some lead, you know? Can suck. Hey, good job, Corey. You got the planning ahead down, which I think for a lot of people, that's the hardest part of cons, is actually planning months in advance so you're not scrambling last minute. You've got that down, so I don't even worry about you. You know what you're doing. No, I'm not going to Gen Con. I unfortunately did not get in. Every year they change the judges for the art show, so I forgot that, and I applied with a whole different set of, art samples than last year, which every year I should, unless I outdo them, I should just use the same samples, but I did not get in. So that can mean a whole bunch of things. That could mean I'm just not the style that the judges this year like, but it's honestly my best show, so I'm kind of bummed I didn't get in. I feel like that's my demographic, and those people, I want to be where those people are. But maybe it's one of those too good to be true things, and maybe I can only get it in moderation or something. So that's okay. Never take a rejection from a con as an actual personal attack or a commentary on your art. Doesn't mean you suck. It might even be something completely unrelated, like maybe all of the judges they have are like heavy digital artists, or they might just want more people that had actual like Magic the Gathering credits or something. Like, there could be so many reasons. Or maybe they just ran out of spots, So because you never know the answer, and frankly, I don't know if I'd actually want to know the answer. So because of that, just be like, next year. Try it next year. But I love that area. I don't know why, but I feel like I've had a lot of good memories in like that, what is that, the Indianapolis Square or something?
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, like downtown Indianapolis.
I love that. That area is great.
It's really pretty.
Like, you and I have had some fun times in that area with ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I always think about that area when I think of Indiana. Though Indiana Comic Con was not kind to me. But Gen Con was. Oh, don't be. You guys, it's okay. No worries. I got Dragon Con too. So Dragon Con's coming up beginning of September, which I have to get 50 commissions done by then. So, we'll see. Some people are really good about not getting me their information. So sometimes I bank on that, and I'm like, well, 12 people haven't gotten me their info. They kind of lose their spot in the queue if they don't give me their info. So I do go back afterwards, though, when I finish the people that were good students and they get me their stuff. But, I remind them. I send them reminders like, hey, I need your info. And if they don't give me it after that, I do the other people first, and then I go to them again. I'm like, hey, third time I'm poking you, can I get your info on your pet? You paid me. Luckily, I haven't had many people ask for refunds because I can't really do them. You pay me money and I eat. I eat your money, basically immediately. So that can suck, especially when I get paid some of these a year in advance. So coming up now, it's like, unless I'm getting new commissions, which honestly have died down too, I don't have time to like actually make stuff to sell now to make money. So the money I made last year, so I'm not making money now, but all my time's taken up by all the things that I'm backlogged for from last year. So Ugh. That's why the buddy system with me and Gabe works out pretty nice. At least he's doing things he gets paid for right now. But yeah, having a backlog and not being in demand as much, since I've cut down on cons overall, it's been kind of rough. It's been good for my mental health though, but it's kind of tough overall. Really? Aw, thank you, Marina. Yes, New York Comic Con is one of my favorites to go to. I get a lot of people at those. I love it. All the people are great. New York's one of the good ones where like people seem to know exactly what they want. They're in and out. They have the money they want to spend. They've been saving. Like, it's usually anime cons that are a mess, but yeah, New York, Dragon Con, Emerald City, those are all my favorites. Gen Con, when I can get in. But thank you for saying I was one of your favorites. It's very sweet. I'm also hoping that they didn't bring me back because I was one of the more kitschy looking artists. That's something in the back of my head that's always like, no, that's not why, but maybe it's why. Because I mean, everybody else there is like super professional. They've been either doing book covers or Magic the Gathering cards or been like concept art for fantasy movies, something, right? They've got that kind of clout. Not me. Not anymore. I used to be in games, but I quit that. And even then they weren't like big time games by any means. But, you know.
I think also they, everyone else like doesn't, like they set up their table like it's a gallery.
It is, yeah, it's very much a gallery show, which my stuff, it's like, I look like I'm in a tree. You know, I look like I could be put in a library for kids. That's what I look like. So I feel like I don't look as professional, but I don't want to.
Which is weird because it is professional.
It is professional, yeah, but it's just like comparatively to the people with very nicely framed giant oil pieces and all this stuff. I do stand out, in my opinion, in a good way, but in that sort of place, maybe that's not what they want. Maybe they do want that like gallery feel, because they do call it an art show. They don't call it Artist Alley. They say Gen Con Art Show. So I think because of that, maybe that's part of it. But, you know, regardless, I'm not going to change it. I had gone to Spectrum, was it 2 years ago? 3 years? 3 years? 2 years? 3. 3 years ago. And I brought my setup, but I didn't dress up like an elf. And first of all, I felt kind of weird, because I was wearing like business casual clothes, and not my ears, but I was still in a tree. And I'm starting to think maybe I should have just been myself, you know? I still think that now, but, you know, the error there is very gallery. So Gabe and I basically realized we aren't those kind of artists. We're a lot more consumable, I'd say. We're not fast and cheap by any means, but we're, I guess we're fast casual. We're like Chipotle. We're not McDonald's. We're probably more like Chipotle. Or I'm more Panera. Mm-hmm. You can be Chipotle. You're not Taco Bell. I think you used to be Taco Bell when I met you, but I brought you up to Chipotle.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're not quite like... Do you guys have any like actual Mexican food restaurants here?
On the border.
Is that what you have? We had Don Pablo's. But it's not like a nice sit down, you know? Thank you. Raina, you're so sweet. I'm glad you appreciate it. See, you're my demographic, I guess. It's just, some people, I guess, don't want that, or I didn't, you know, if I bring down their reputation or something, then I get it, you know. I get it, that's fine. But, I don't know. Start a publishing company, Eliza? Didn't you have a publishing company?
Sorta.
Sorta?
It's not fun.
Yeah,
it's a company.
Yeah.
Companies aren't fun to do.
That's true.
Because then you end up.
It's hard enough publishing for myself.
Yeah, you start running a company and you start doing less work. That's the problem.
Looking at Awesome Con, they have Pride Alley. I was wondering about the pros and cons for cast. Yeah, so Corey, that's a really good point. And Gabe, you might want to weigh in on this too. You know how Awesome Con had the Pride Alley?
Yeah.
So Corey's gay, but he doesn't have gay art. Does he feel right doing that? I would almost do it just because you can, you know? And I think it's more for you being you than the art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's to actually help gay artists, I think, rise up. Not necessarily project gay art. So if you don't have gay art, that's okay because you're gay. But I think the people that, like, if straight me was to make gay art and then apply for that alley, that feels more wrong, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that is for you to apply to, you know?
It's because I mean, you know, like it's to help pull
exposure.
Exposure
Yeah.
for the gay community, so that because then otherwise you're sort of lost amongst the other
The normies,
the normies just
the straights,
you're lost amongst the
sea of artists.
the sea of artists that like do.
Really, it sounds bad, but you kind of gotta take it where you can. Like, if they're having, like if some con was having like a fantasy alley, I would apply for that.
There you go.
You know, or an elf alley. You know, so yeah, I mean.
You know what? Also, I feel like if you go and you do that, and you're there, then you can probably actually even help like some
Up
kid.
and coming
Yeah,
kid?
well, not just a kid who who doesn't like want to either talk about
that's true.
gayness, or he doesn't he doesn't feel comfortable doing his art. So then like it gives them.
It gives them a place to go to that they know they could get some advice.
Exactly.
That's true. You could actually do some real good if you had like another artist that was, gay that came up to you that really wanted, some pointers on like, can I do this? How do I do this? I mean, at that point you're doing it, so you have the experience. You can share that. Oh yeah, PAX. I always forget about PAX. I don't know how I would do there, honestly.
PAX?
Yeah. I mean, because they
like
get
the gaming thing?
they get some tabletop demographic people in there.
Yeah,
but it is mainly indie shit.
It's the problem with PAX is that it's and I've heard this from other artists, is that unless you're selling fan art, really it's just a bunch of like the big demographic is people going to play video games.
Yeah.
And then buying
merch.
Like fan art merch.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. I forgot.
So
wow, I forgot about fan art for a minute. That felt great. Those of you who know me.
You might get a few people that are like,
oh, this is neat. I appreciate this.
Yeah, like people that are there for the indie side of it, but.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I appreciate Emerald City, because they usually go there to get something new. Mm-hmm. I like that when people go to a convention. Like, I do that too, to like actually find new artists that maybe get buried on the internet, because it is so hard to make it as an artist on the internet solely. Like, you have to actually like just go viral or really pay for ads. Like, it's one way or the other, you're breaking yourself, whether it's monetarily or otherwise. Like, the internet now is cutthroat.
That's why I think for anybody who is not into doing fan art and they don't want to start doing that so they can get more acclaim, like I feel like the zine culture is like,
yeah, that seems great.
Like going to a zine show is like the place to sort of get seen.
Get seen at the zine show.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me.
It makes sense though, because zines are very pure.
Yeah.
They're very pure, they're very like from the heart, which is why I really respect them.
And then and like another thing, the reason why I like the toy scene so much.
Oh, PAX Unplugged is all tabletop? Oh,
Oh.
duh, Unplugged.
Wow.
Hmm.
I didn't know that.
Where is that? Philly? Philly's not bad. Though there's that Keystone Comic Con. That's Philly, right?
Yeah, but that was due
That
to
bombed.
that was due to bad management.
Yeah, but the shitty thing about when a con has bad management is you don't know when they get good management.
Yeah.
Or like you hear years later that, oh no, it's finally good. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to get out on the East Coast. More so, I think, even than the West Coast nowadays. I don't know. Both are difficult. But, like, Gabe will be at New York this year, but I won't be. Even though I make more money in New York, but he's more the professional, so he needs the connections. So, maybe next year I'll be New York and he'll stay home. Who knows? Oh, Morena to Keystone? Or PAX? Which one? Oh man. This is so blown out. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. It's a little bit more rich in person, the drawing. Oh, you live in New York? Wow. Do you need to go to cons to make it as an artist?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I find it as a necessary evil, honestly, because it's the quickest way to get in front of people, and to, you know, be actually making lasting connections, because internet follows and stuff, you never know what's genuine. It's really hard to keep people. It's just so much harder to grind solely on the internet. I think if you can go to cons, it's good, but if you're overseas, it's a whole different story. Depending on where you are, you may not even have conventions near you, so you might have to do just the grinding thing on the internet, like put yourself on Imgur and Pinterest and the places that have some art, and Reddit, you know, the ones that are kind of in the middle, right? Like putting in an art station, okay. Other artists, it's like a portfolio. Jamie, you weren't following me? Weird. Exactly, Serenity. Art cons are different in your area too. Like they're different all over Europe apparently. Like when Tim and Key went to Belgium, it was a totally different thing. I don't think you need to go to cons. I guess, like...
It's not going to make a...
It's going to help.
Yeah, it's going to help your...
It's going to help a lot.
Your career a lot.
Yeah.
But if you can't, then that just means you have to grind harder on the internet.
Yeah, and nowadays you really have to just get viral, or else you just fall apart.
Or you got, like... And I think part of being viral is that you got to make something that people really enjoy.
Yeah, and what I hate is an artist that I respect recently put up a how to make it as an artist on the internet, and they had put fan art as one of the first couple things to get seen. And I'll agree, if you draw some fan art and you put it on your account, don't sell it, but if you put it up on like your Instagram and tag stuff, yeah, you'll get, you know, those people following you and you'll get that visibility, but is that really what you want to be putting your time into? You know, and then you do your original stuff and maybe they won't stick around. It's like you maybe got like a follow for a week or something, you know.
It's like when you go to a bar or something and there's a band and they're just playing like covers and then they play their own song and you're like, I don't want to listen to this.
Oh my god, that's so true. Gabe, that's a really good analogy.
Except for that one band, that City Mouth. They had a really good
They didn't play covers.
Huh?
They didn't play covers.
Didn't they?
No.
Oh, they played one cover.
I don't remember
really
any
good,
covers.
They did Jimmy World.
Oh,
remember?
did they?
And it sounded really good.
You're right.
It was like their own little rendition of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like...
But their other stuff was good too.
Yeah. But yeah, if you
yeah, don't fan art. No, I say don't fan art.
If you open up with just your original stuff, then
you're going to get people who are purely following you for you.
Yeah.
And that's what you want in the long run. Those are the fans that are going to stick around. You know, those are the people. Like, I've stayed at 6K for years now, and I'm okay with that because I know those people are following me because they want to. Like, the people that start freaking out that, oh, I've gone up and down 100 followers in the past week, what do I do? It's like, you know, first of all, those are probably bots. You know, there are algorithms that you know nothing about. There's reasons behind these other accounts. We don't know anything, okay? So it's best to not even think about it. There's no way to wrap your head around, unless you actually work for Instagram as a programmer, to know what they're actually looking at to put you where you are. Someone actually messaged me the other day and was like, you've been posting things, but they haven't been coming up in my feed. And I have to turn on notifications for you because of that. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. You know, I don't know why they'd be not showing in people's feeds, but I can't care about that because there's nothing I can do about it. So why stress myself out thinking, you know, why Instagram? Why haven't you put me in front of people's eyes? It's like, well, if people really care.
Because they want you to pay for it.
Yeah, which I do sometimes, especially if I'm selling something. Yeah, I'll put $5 towards it. That puts me ahead of a couple other guys, but, you know, it's not a big deal. And I think you do have to put yourself into marketing sometimes. I think you do have to put down a couple bucks here and there. But you have to do it wisely. Don't just promote any post. You know, if you're having a giveaway, promote that, you know. Or if you're selling stuff, like the stuff I promoted recently is just stuff I'm selling. So it's like, that makes sense. But if it's like a post that's just kind of bleh, like what, you know, think about it. I think that's great. And if you guys post that, awesome. Like, I still am super proud that I had post everything I did when I started Markers. And that was over 5 years ago. And if you look back at my Instagram, you can see the first marker pieces I did. And I always posted, no matter what I did of marker, whether I liked it or not, I posted it. And it is fan art back then, but I got off it eventually, obviously. But I think finding yourself as an artist and what you like to actually do is more important, because once you do that and you dig your heels in hard, and somebody can look at your Instagram and see, oh my god, this is that person. This is all the stuff they like to do. This is their style, blah, blah, blah. Even if it's all across the board, there's something that's cohesive usually about your own art. So don't get scared about trying new things or, you know, trying different styles, mediums, whatever, because usually you will still speak through your stuff as people look at it, you know? Yeah, I agree. I think it's great. I think it's very humble, too. That's the other thing. Too many people are afraid to be humble in their Instagram feeds, where I think that is the place to show that you're a mess, right? Your Instagram should be your sketchbook. You should just be an absolute mess there because, you know, you should have another website that is your portfolio, because Instagram is where things go to die. You post something, it's dead already. You know, it's buried, literally. Like, that's the term. It gets buried. So, I mean, when you know that, then it's just, you know, this is just to prove that I keep creating. And if you think about it like that, and then your portfolio is every once in a while on your Instagram, oh, I made something worth keeping. That looks really good. That, you know, is very me, and is very indicative of me at first glance. So I add that to my portfolio. You know, that way you have the proof that you create a lot, which is really good if you're applying for like a studio job or, you know, any actual art job in the industry. They want to know that you're doing art often, because that tells them it's your passion and that, you know, you want to get paid for your passion. If they look at your Instagram and you post every month, that's not a good sign. You know, like I used to hire people at the game company I worked at, and that was something I always kind of judged them on. You know, if they told me they're doing art all the time, but they're not posting it, nowadays that tells me, well, they don't have a good grip on social media. You know, they don't know how to kind of get about technology. Like, it tells you a lot of things. So it's really important nowadays to have that kind of balance, and especially with digital and traditional as well. You need both. We're living in cutthroat times when it comes to art. Back in like the 80s, there were just a couple people that were the artists to go to. Like, you had a fantasy movie, go to Brian Froud. You had sci-fi, Stan Winston, all that kind of stuff. Like, there were people that you just knew to go to. Nowadays, there's just a pool. There's a pool of so many people you can choose from, where if you want to be in that pool, you know, you got to sink from, or come up from the bottom, which sucks and is really difficult, especially when there's tons of people above you that, you know, may be way better than you. You have to find other ways to stand out. Never the polished ones. Serenity, do both. Come on, you owe it to yourself. Oh, thank you, King No. This is actually marker. Marker with my bad lighting. Marker, colored pencil, and at the end it's gonna be pastel on top of it, which helps the colors pop. Here, I'll show you other ones so you can see what finalized ones look like. So here are, for all those people coming in that are new, here are my socials. I frequent Instagram the most. And then if you want to see other versions and other examples of what I'm doing right now, you can find that here. Okay. Yeah, God, this light is just killing this. It's a little bit better. I look like I'm sweating, but I swear to God I'm not. The lights I've got on me are just all at my forehead. Lucky me. But thank you. Thank you for the follow. You know, Eliza, if you could just even stream once, like a week, and just for an hour or two, you can at least start finding out if it's something you want to do. And like I've said, it's not, I don't think it's for everybody, but I do think everybody should try it and see if you even like it. You know, there is a difficult balance you have to maintain with talking and creating, which can be difficult. It takes a while to get used to. When I first started streaming, I was stumbling over words a lot. I'd pause and then I'd lose my thought. You know, it's kind of difficult, but you get used to it. You can keep your train of thought longer. Sometimes it helps to have somebody to bounce, like, chat off of, like Gabe. He's good to have in here sometimes. The only reason he's in here right now is because the dogs are asleep. If Bruni was awake, she'd be barking, so he'd have to be dog sitting. So we got lucky tonight. Usually that's the case. Do you think she knows when we're streaming or talking to someone on the internet? Because, like, today I had a business call, and you could hear him through the computer, obviously, and she was barking again. It's weird. But she doesn't bark with TVs or anything. I don't know. That one baffles me. So that's the gold going on right now. Oh, there you go, Jamie. Yeah, and I mean, even if you don't have a ton of gear, honestly, computers nowadays are pretty good. You just need a camera. So, like, my computer, I still use my computer's built-in camera for my face, and then I just have this camera. The mic we have, honestly, we could use our internal microphone in our computer if we wanted, but since we got this as a gift from Soggy, we still use it. That was a couple years ago, wasn't it? 2 years ago?
I think so.
Wow, it's been a while. All the internet things. Honestly, yeah, Eliza, that's a good way to look at it. However, know when there are some internet things that won't really help you. Like, Gabe and I don't really bother with ArtStation. It's not really our scene. So kind of know where you could be. You know, like I put a bunch of these pet and armors on Pinterest because a lot of that is ladies trolling on there for pet stuff. You know, you got to kind of think of where you could be seen and where you fit in, even if it sounds kind of obscure. I also took my stuff, here's another example. I took my stuff to our vet, and our vet has this little area that's like in this, between these doors that you can kind of advertise things. So I put it there because that makes sense for me. But if you have like art that would maybe complement a coffee shop, you know, it's kind of chill or sepia, laid back, maybe try to put it at a coffee shop. Or if you have kid-friendly stuff, maybe take it to the library. You know, you got to kind of think outside the box when you can't get out there to conventions. And even when you do conventions, you have to find the right conventions. Like, I'm about ready to go to a furry con. Like, I'm trying to shed my past furry experiences, to start fresh, you know, and to not blanket things. But I know those people at least appreciate animals to the extent I probably do. So that'd be a good place for me to go too. So Eliza, maybe like, if you do have more like realistic animal art, you could even make a couple calendars or something. You know, think about the type of people that buy the type of art you make. You know, what are they into? Even like looking at Facebook groups. Like, I'm in a bunch of dog Facebook groups because I need tips on my dogs and stuff, but that could also add as a marketing place if I want to. If I get in a pinch, I don't like to do that kind of self-promotion in a group unless I kind of get in dire situations, you know. I love gold. Yeah, the marketing stuff is what kind of sucks when you kind of work for yourself. But just know that that whole thing I talked about that one time, for those that were here, it's really hard to actually spam. So it's better to borderline on spamming than to not show it enough. Okay, especially when you're working for yourself, that's a meal. You know, you have to understand you're doing that to eat. So would you rather spam or I was just gonna say there's a joke in there with spam. Yeah, so there's that. Isn't spam expensive now? I saw a bunch of like high quality spam ads where they're like, oh no, this was actually good. It was on the TV at the gym. This guy was like, he looked like a chef or something, and he was making like really nice cuts into this loaf of spam, and like he's putting it on the, you know, the skillet and flipping it and stuff. Is like, it was meant to look super seductive, you know. And then he's like, he puts it in a taco and covers it with some stuff, and then the screen says spam in a taco, and then the next screen he's like enjoying it, you know, and it says pork favor.
Pork favor?
It took me 3 times seeing that commercial to know that they meant por favor.
That's really good.
Yeah, but they said pork favor. I'm like, why didn't they put flavor? And then I was like, oh, that's a joke. Anyway, that went over my head a bit, so maybe other people didn't know what it either. If it kind of eluded me, I don't know. I never, like, even when I ate meat, I never had tried spam just because it looked damn gross. I didn't want to eat meat that was, like, in a package. You know? Like, what are those other things? Dinty Moors. Oh, those commercials always look gross. Like, really gross. I don't know. And then I always get that flash of that, you guys see that one GIF of the guy that's shaking the can and the turkey comes out, or a chicken or something, and it's just, it's full of like this greasy jelly, and you're like, I got mortified. I don't know, I couldn't do it. I couldn't look at it. It was bad. King, just keep drawing. You'll be able to sketch decent the more you draw. It's like anything in life, the more time you put towards it, the better you'll get. That's it. I don't believe in talent. I think talent is actually the wrong word to use with artists and artisans of any kind, musicians even. I would say that they're skilled. because you can almost guarantee anybody that's good at anything has put hundreds to thousands of hours into their craft. So saying someone is skilled is a better compliment, in my opinion, than saying, oh, you're so talented. It's like, you lucked out. Good for you. You're so lucky you can do art. It's like, what? No. Excuse me, you've got this wrong. I am not, lucky that I got these skills. I worked for them, thank you. Like, while people are playing video games or something, I've been doing this, and that's a hard question, I think, even during college, especially during college, that a lot of people didn't ask themselves enough what was important. Because I had too many friends that weren't focusing on what they should have been, and man, they didn't end up with art jobs. They didn't end up where they wanted to be because they didn't put the time in. And they're still drawing at the same level they were in college because they don't draw. If you don't draw, you're not going to get better at drawing. If you don't play an instrument often, you're not going to get better at that instrument. If I wanted to drop everything and become the best bass player in the world, maybe I could, but I'd have to drop everything I'm doing and just focus on that one thing. It all comes down to how much you want it, So I believe you can do it. Oh God, Jamie, the things they don't know. They are very much a non-art oriented family then. It is not the same thing. Usually when people do say talented, they assume that you have something over them at birth, that makes you more apt to be that thing than them. A lot of the time that's not true. Think of some of the painters even that paint with their feet because they have no arms or something like that. Like, they've just practiced a shit ton with their foot, right? So I've tried to cool it on, telling people, hey, try to say skilled. If they tell me at a con, I'm very, thank you, you're so sweet. But it's like if I'm talking to another artist, I try to get at least artists to say it to each other, because it is a big compliment. If somebody says you're skilled, you're usually taken aback, like, whoa, because a lot of us have heard family or friends be like, oh, you're so talented, and it's like, thanks, cool, you're sweet. And it's nice they thought it, because, you think about their intention. Their intention is to give you some love on, what you're doing. So, you should accept that gracefully, right? But for those that, you want to actually start cultivating a better word for it, you got to start at the core, which, art people. Educate. You may never figure it out too, and that's fine. Honestly, if you're one of those artists that kind of just goes with your gut and like, today I want to do this, who cares? Do it. That's art. If you're following your heart and doing what you want to do, you're doing art. If you're doing what's popular or doing something that isn't very you to get acclaim or something, that is not art, that is business, in my opinion. So all the people selling fan art or doing fan art things, they're not as artistic, in my opinion, as people that do things completely from their mind. And I really wish more original art was priced higher at conventions and just places in general, because you have to give some mad props to the people who are thinking of original art, because they're thinking of the entire scene. They're thinking of, the characters completely from scratch. They are not pre-established. They are from their brain, That's a lot more commendable than taking, Batman and putting him in a pose on a building for the millionth time. That sort of thing. I think people are starting to understand that. At conventions, I get a lot of people saying, I really want to see more original art because I'm really tired of seeing comics and anime. They are, and it's starting to happen. It's just not happening fast enough, in my opinion. Thank you, Jamie. You were skilled as well. Thank you. Just post and walk on. There you go, Serenity. It's true. Post and just walk away. Maybe go back the next day and answer some comments if you've got any. Otherwise, just don't look at the numbers. Fuck the numbers. Yeah, Jamie. It was funny. A friend of ours sent us a thing about this person that did a John Wick thing, right? Was it just a poster, Gabe? Yeah. They did like a John Wick print, fan art, and Lionsgate, who is in charge of John Wick, shut them down and told them, hey, you can't be selling this. And they're all pissy about it, and they're like, oh, I ordered so many of these posters. What am I supposed to do now? And, like, expecting to get reimbursed or something. It's like, you realize you're stealing, right? From square one, like, you're stealing? Like, that's not your property. You're not allowed to sell that. That's illegal. And half the time, people don't even know it's illegal, Every time I talk to people at conventions, they're like, what? Some of the time they stop, but I'm actually seeing recently, and very sadly, that a lot of the people I talked to in the past couple of years that said they were going to quit went back to it because it's like a drug. They know they can make money with it, and that time they spend on it is just wasted. It's really sad. It's even more tragic when they actually have a style that's theirs and they're actually really skilled and really good at what they do. And they just waste their time. Because you can't do anything with it. You can't put it in a portfolio. You can't sell it. You can't put it in a book. And drawing Spider-Man will not help you get a job drawing Spider-Man. That's not how that works. If you're good at drawing and they like your style, then you get to draw Spider-Man because they say you can. If they were judging who gets to draw Spider-Man on who draws Spider-Man, that would not work. That's not how that works.
Well, they would get the job, and the reason that they don't do it is because they probably tried it in the past, and they're like, oh man, you draw Spider-Man really well. Let's see if you can handle an issue. And then, like 3 months later, how many pages you got done? 2.
Because they don't have any other experience.
I can't draw this. I can only draw Spider-Man one page. Or then.
Oh yeah, Corey, you too. Thanks for coming back. I hope we helped.
Then the editors have to do a lot of babysitting because if you don't actually draw comics, then you don't understand how to do comics. So then the editors are left to do a lot of babysitting, and it's like things that you should already know if you're a comic book artist, and if you're going to be a comic book artist for Marvel.
Well, now they won't even hire people that don't have comic experience.
Exactly.
I mean, for good reason. I don't know why they would ever have hired somebody without comic experience.
And that's what I'm saying. It'd have to be a very rare situation. And maybe once in a while they might hire somebody who's really, really good to do a cover.
But they're usually famous by that point.
Well, by that point,
they just want their name on it.
Yeah.
To get their people. So you have to get there first, in other words, to get that kind of an honor, I guess. But anyway, enough of that. I can't believe it's July. I'm gonna be completely honest. That means in a month it's August. But thank God for that, because I love fall, and I am sick of this heat. The heat here and the humidity have been stupid. I have been very upset with that. I'm not into it. Jamie, I thought you were doing YouTube. Are you still doing YouTube? Or are you giving up YouTube for Twitch? Oh, right now there's a 30 flowers one going on. I'm doing it all. Oh, good for you. Oh, I'm off screen again. You guys. That's my fault. Let's get these guys at the bottom. Maybe more hair, maybe. No. Yeah, YouTube is rough. YouTube takes a long time to grind at. So does Twitch, typically. Like, it's the same sort of thing. That's why it's like, well, choose your battle. Because at least Twitch, you know, you get interaction, but YouTube, you get more time to prepare something. Like, I've been wanting to start doing YouTube videos because I have an editing background too. So I want to kind of use that, you know, to my, I guess, power, because my advantage. Because I know how to edit and I can do fun cuts and stuff and all that sort of thing. Where, I mean, Twitch, at least, like I said, you can talk to people. So I think usually they appeal to different kinds of artists. Like, I know artists, some of them that do YouTube don't do Twitch because they don't like the fact that, you know, they're kind of caught off guard with some things, or they don't have time to prepare something. They're not usually good off the cuff, you know, so depending on the type of person you are, one of the platforms could speak more to you than the other, you know. So it is good to experiment, though. Figure out what feels better. Maybe neither. Maybe you're not a video artist. That's okay, too. You just gotta, I guess, figure out where you stand.
You gotta say, though, that YouTube is like...
YouTube, you have some competition.
Yeah,
like, holy shit, you've got competition.
You really gotta bring something new to the table.
You really do. And you have to be consistent and do things often, or else you're just gonna fall to the wayside.
Because if you look at the people who are actually making it, they put out...
Like, that's their thing.
Yeah, at least one video a week.
Typically.
If not, like, several a week.
Yeah.
And there's some people that just... They don't even have lives because all they do is just YouTube.
I mean, you guys can even look at us with Twitch. We've been doing this, what, 3 years? Something like that, and we still have maybe 10 people at a time watching us, 10 to 20, depending on summer or winter. You know, like, sometimes it's just, you know, you may not, even if you grind, this is the scary part, even if you grind your entire life, you may still never get viral, you may still only have a couple thousand followers, and you need to know if you're okay with that. You know, that doesn't define you, that at least you've been doing your art that whole time, you know? Because if you get caught up in that, like, damn it, I've been at this for how many years, and I still haven't gotten anybody, like, I haven't gone viral, what's the deal? Like, I worked for a company that was so obsessed with going viral and was trying to actually break down how to do it. It's like, you can't. You know, you just can't. It's just one of those things that it's like, it's really like the lottery, you know? Sometimes they get lucky. Like, a friend of ours, he actually went viral a couple of years ago, and now he has like 200,000 followers because it just kept rolling. He was able to keep up with it. I believe you could go viral and completely drop the ball, but he was able to actually, you know, keep up with that fame, and I feel like at that point you deserve it. It'd be like catching a wave that kind of knocks you over and then being able to stand up on it and keep going on it instead of getting taken over by it. So, that sort of thing.
There's also that thing where if you, it's like a, I don't know what to call it, phenomenon, but it's just how it works. If you have over 10K followers,
it just starts rolling.
The chances of somebody just following you immediately just because you have that many followers,
Yeah. It's like a first impression clout thing.
Yeah, it's like exponential. So by the time you're up into the 100,000s, then it's like instant follow. But then also, like I read that last year's numbers was 3% of the users on Instagram have 50,000 or more followers. So if there's somebody who's got 50,000 or more followers, they're literally like in the top 3%. I think it's like if you have over 100K, then you're in the top 1%.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And there's only like 10 people who have over 1 million.
What?
Yeah, there's only like 10 people. What? Or maybe it was over 10 million or something.
I mean, every celebrity basically has over 1 million, Gabe.
I think maybe it was like 10 or 20 million.
It had to be that.
Yeah, but there's only like a handful of them. But even when it goes down, like even with 1 million, it's still.
Exactly, Eliza, that's what we've been trying to tell you. You need to start finding your voice because you could be that guy that's been doing the daily art for 4 years. I don't want that for you. I want you to actually break into something that you enjoy doing all the time because it's you, It's not a list someone else made up for you. I'm only doing the flowers challenge this month because I really like flowers, A, and I want to get better at watercoloring them, B, and C, I have my flower pips. So if anything, this is better for me and my Patreon to do this. So I only do things really that benefit me. Like Journey June, we do our own challenge because A, we're teachers and it looks good that we can actually do the challenge we make, and B, I have another story then. I always want another story. Why wouldn't you? If you're actually passionate about this and doing it, duh, Yeah, but Eliza, I don't want you to make lists. How about we do a monthly challenge where you think of an idea every day that's completely not related to another idea or a theme? How about we do that next month? I want you to get away from lists. I feel like they're a crutch for you. I feel like at least 1 month, don't have a list. And just every day do something that you completely feel like. Like search how you feel that day. Do you feel dark? Do you feel happy? Do you feel cute? Do you feel like you want to do something in pink? Like knowing how you feel that day is art, But I want you to do that. Oh, thanks, Fire Seal. This is actually a commission for somebody that's in the chat. They're an absolute crutch, and it's kind of obvious at this point. So I want you to break that. If, as your art buddy, Gabe and I think you should. I think it would be good for you. And then once you start getting your own ideas, going back to one of those lists can sometimes feel a little, I don't want to do this. I want to do what I want to do. And I kind of hope you get there.
Yeah, it starts to turn into a job. Like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah, do you ever feel like it's a job, Eliza? Like, are you ever like, I don't want to do another bird today? Or, a pair of pants. Like the attire one? Was that fun? I want to be honest with you. Like, was that fun? You did a great job and you're super diligent, but I feel like your diligence could be used elsewhere. Like, you could be doing a webcomic weekly or something that is using your diligence and your ability to have this frequency. You got to tap into that for you, Because you didn't like some of them? Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, I think Tim's doing something different for Drawtober this year. He looked like he was going to change it to weekly prompts, so you'd maybe have 4 for that month. Because I know, unlike us, he likes quality, where we like quantity. But we think that quantity leads to quality, but you just have to get there. You can't do quality right away without quantity. So, the birds are fun though. Okay, so see, that's how you know. You like birds. You like drawing animals, yeah? So that's something you can say that you know about you. Which knowing is half the battle, right? So say the internet and everything else and G.I. Joe. Alright. Mogwai's little legs. He's got such cute wavy hair. Morena, are you still here? Remember that your Instagram isn't your portfolio though, Jamie. Remember, it's just proving you create, and it can have shitty there stuff and good stuff. It's okay. Don't curate. It's not a portfolio.
You know, it sucks when I like go on somebody's Instagram.
Yeah.
And they haven't posted in like 2 months, and I'm like, oh, they're dead.
Exactly.
They died.
Yeah. Yeah, which is weird because your posts get buried.
Yeah. And
if your account is like not updated often, you look dead. Like there's so much there, you know? Yeah, Eliza! Oh, she's on the phone? Okay. I was gonna ask about long hair or short, but I can go in the middle. But why is it mess, Jamie? Aren't they all things you've done? Like, how is that a mess? Like, you should be proud of all that. Like, you said you like the progress pics, right? Aren't those the progress pics? I'm confused on then what you think is a progress pic and what isn't. I mean, your Instagram is your sketchbook. Don't forget that. There's no reason to curate it. Blob of consistency. Then do it going forward. Don't delete. Don't delete. Deleting proof that you've done things? That seems like a bad idea in my opinion.
I think it also...
it's a bad habit too.
Well, I mean, I don't know, like, seems like not a good use of time.
Yeah, you should be making something new instead of deleting old stuff.
It's not like your old posts are going to start molding, or they're going to smell bad.
Wait. Oh, okay, you said cleanup mood lately. That made me think you were going to delete them. Okay. So you just mean you want the consistency going forward. You are talking about going forward. You're not talking about deleting. Okay. Gotcha. My fault. Miscommunication on my part. I mean, Eliza, it doesn't have to be anything that's, you know, contending with anything else. Like, if you made a webcomic about a banana rotting over a month, and every day it was like just one panel of what it thought of that day while it's rotting. Like, you know, no one's really done that, really. And if they had, they hadn't done it the way you wanted to. But if you were so passionate about it, you needed to do it, do it. Like, don't look at what's missing, you know, out there. Look at what you want to do. I gotta tell you guys, when I was 16, I had a good DeviantArt account that was actually getting some traction back then. And it was cool. But then I did one of those stupid things where I was like 20 and I was like, oh, these are all when I was 16. And I rage deleted everything. I am so mad at myself now for that. Because now I don't even have the files anywhere because they were like 4 or 5 computers ago. Right? And I have maybe the hard drives, but I don't have a CPU to put them on. Sorry, a tower, a motherboard, whatever anymore. I don't even own a PC, right? I can't even access them. So if they were on the internet, I could at least do that. But they're deleted. They're gone. Literally forever. It sucks. Because now I can tell people, yeah, I was 100% in a sci-fi. But I have nothing to show for it, and it sucks because that was my entire gallery back then. Anyway, don't delete anything.
It's almost, I feel like it's like, think about one of those toys you had when you were a kid, and how you wish you had, like, kept it somehow.
I disagree with this.
Why?
I think those kind of things you should get rid of.
Like
material
favorite,
possessions, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, like imagine like now, like you're like, oh man, I really love that toy.
Nah, I don't know. I don't think this applies like that. This is different. This is a part of you. This was like something you created. It's totally different, in my opinion. That's okay, Marina. I was just gonna say this length of his hair, but I think that should be okay because it seems like it's in the middle between short hair and long hair. So I don't want it too outspoken. Yeah, it doesn't go back that far, believe me. Especially if you've deleted it off their servers, it's gone.
Well, I think the problem is that the Wayback Machine
doesn't bring back things deleted.
Well, no, it does, but it doesn't work the way that you would want it to in terms of websites like DeviantArt.
And there's no like promise that it's been cached even.
Yeah.
Like there's a certain time period that it won't even go back to.
That's
like I mean, this was over 15 years ago now, something like that. Yeah, it's been a while, so it's like you can't even really, count on that completely.
Yeah, see, like it doesn't even do DeviantArt.
Oh, really? At all?
No.
Eesh.
It might do DeviantArt, but
I was also on Cheesy Art, which ended up being a furry site. Which I guess now that means I had an account on a furry site. Where at the time it wasn't completely a furry site, but I think it actually shut down too. I don't even know if I knew what furries were when I was like 16. Oh, that's cute. Your dad sounds cute. And that's fair, Serenity. Some things, but even when I was doing it, I was like, should I be doing this? Like, was there a good reason? I think it was because of a boyfriend or some crap like that, so it was probably not even a good reason. Which at least, Gabe, you have that drawing of you and me, right? From way back then? Mm-hmm. At least you were smart. I think I had posted that too afterwards, but I don't know. God, that's so weird. Do you have that still? You do still have that?
somewhere. Do
you want to find that? So I put in the hairs here and then I erase it so they're not so dark, especially since he's got like light hair. Did they redo it?
It's brand new, yeah.
I bet they cleaned out dead accounts, didn't they? But yeah, I draw them in and then I erase them just so you can kind of see the ghosted hairs, just so they don't speak too loud, because that's one of the things with hair and fur. You don't want to draw every individual strand. You want to have like a clump or a shape and kind of give the appearance of fur on the edges and dip into it a little bit here and there to kind of show strands, but you don't want to do each individual strand. You will want to put in some shading too in some areas. You're going to want to like round out a certain spot, stuff like that, so that you can see that it has dimension. Because even if it's white hair, you can still see that there are patches of fur in there, there's clumps, Honestly, white animals are still okay for me to do. It's the ones that are black, because my colored pencil for the black is so grainy that I have to almost take a gray and go over it so it doesn't, like, the graininess is just too heavy. So that can be kind of tough. But that's where the pastels come in handy. I love that he has Christmas toys like all year round. I thought that was really cute. I have like 3 DA accounts, one for each of my names that I rebranded to. But my original one was the one that I was pretty proud of. I had like a daily deviation for one of my art, like, pride points. It's too bad. Because then I couldn't say that I had it anymore because I couldn't prove that I had a daily deviation, so it sucks. Gabe, did you ever get one?
Mm-hmm.
Was it pretty common and I just thought it was special back then?
No, because it was actually, it was based on, like it was, what was it called?
Voted on?
Yeah, it was like internal. So if somebody internally saw your
That's
thing
cool.
and they're like, oh, I'm going to nominate this person.
That's really cool. Now I feel better about it.
There it is.
Oh, that's so cute. That means he wants kisses all the time, right? Because he's carrying his mistletoe around. Aw. Oh my god. 1,000 daily rise. Good lord. Oh, Eliza. You can do that, though. Think of your own ideas. Yeah?
Yeah, you deleted everything about it.
So this is time-stamped, right? For when you made it?
Yeah.
2005. 14 years ago? Oh my god. That was my first year of college. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at that style, Gabe.
Yeah.
Was that traditionally inked?
No, I have no idea. I don't think
It
so.
looks like it.
I don't think so. I think it was digital.
Was it? Oh. Maybe you're using the pencil then.
Or maybe it was traditional.
So you saying there's a paper version somewhere?
I don't know. No, I think it's not traditional. Maybe.
Ah. Oh, really? Oh, he's such a little bully. I love it. He's so cute. He's a bully. Right, Serenity? Like, Gabe and I were friends back then. Now we live together and have 2 to 3 dogs. Life's weird. Life is weird. Like, I even got married. Wow. Life is the weirdest thing. We might be getting close, actually, to the pastel stage. Sometimes I say pastel. Pastel. And I'm like, Ashley. It's time for the pastels. Oh, he's not my husband. I was married, but this is Gabe. He's my boyfriend, but I like saying partner because when you're as old as us and you say boyfriend, you sound immature. He is Gabbo. No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's more funny to me than anything. No, my ex-husband's a nice guy. He's good. I ship you too, Eliza. But yeah, that's all his stuff. So, he is Gabe. Are you Gabe? Mm-hmm. But it does feel weird. You're 38 or 39? What are you?
39.
You're 39. You're gonna be 39 this year. No, because I just turned 33. You're 6 years older. So Gabe's gonna be 39 this year. And it's weird when you say you've got a boyfriend and you're like late 30s. So we say partner. Because really, it does feel very weird. You're welcome. You can say boyfriend. I don't care. Whatever you want to say. I just thought about starting to wear a ring and just being like, whatever. I don't care. because I don't really want to get married again. I thought personally that it was kind of a waste of time and money. Not just because I got divorced, but I mean, it was only like we only spent like $3,000, which is cheap for a wedding. But I don't know. I just felt like afterwards, I was like, I could have used that for so much other stuff, you know. And we ended up buying a house, and it's like we could have put that money towards the house, man. That's like a redone bathroom, you know. So I kind of want to save my money in the future. And I mean, getting married again, it's like especially in our situation, it's like not necessary really. Oh. It does sound more mature, right? Yeah. Well, I still have my other wedding ring, and I really like that ring. I picked that out, so I want to wear it, but it's very much a wedding ring, so it's like I don't want to wear it if, like, I don't know, if I'm not feeling up to it or something. I don't know. Oh, that's good, Jamie. There you go, and that's how we kind of figure it. I mean, we live in a townhome together. We've got fur babies, children, you know. We're good. I mean, if anything, I would hope the testament that we've known each other for, you know, over 15 years would be enough, you know. It's like we've seen each other go through relationships. We've talked to each other through those things, you know, through high school and college and stuff. At least high school for me. You were way out, but... do some stuff down here. Did you eat dinner? You didn't eat dinner, did you?
No.
What are you gonna have?
Wasn't really.
Huh?
I don't know yet.
Oh. Hopefully something with chips. You have a million chips.
Yeah.
Oh, really, Jamie? That's hilarious. Yeah, it depends on the bracket you're in. Because apparently for when I was with my ex-husband, he made shit tons of money. I didn't see most of it, but he made a lot of money. So he was in a certain tax bracket, and I made like 35 to 40 a year or something. So like being married helped us, but I think that's because one of us was in a crappier bracket. So I think it depends on that more than anything. Is it really Serenity? How so? How's it in Germany? Like I was talking to Mirabelle, you know, on the phone. The lady we're meeting tomorrow, Gabe?
Yeah.
And I had said boyfriend, referring to you, and I just cringed. The minute I said I was like, oh. So I feel like when you're older, you totally get judged, you know? It's like people already assume, oh, so you were married and divorced and you have a boyfriend now, okay. Or you could never commit, so you just have a boyfriend. Like, there's no good connotation to that when you're older. You know?
Yeah.
It sucks. Which is, I get it now why Brian just always said, oh, my wife. You know? When referring to his girlfriend.
Oh, right.
Because they're not married, but he just calls her his wife to avoid, like, that problem. Is, like, they've been together forever. Makes sense now. I get it. Yeah, and Serenity, it is like that here too, but it depends on the bracket you're in. Exactly. Like, it was really weird. I was in the full-time job thing. I had a house, we had gotten married, and then his family was pressuring us for kids, and I had never been a kids person. I had never wanted kids. It wasn't even in my anything. Like, I never thought about kids. And he kind of did, and, you know, I was always kind of open to it, which now I'm like, hell no. I don't know why I even thought I'd be open to it. But he was like, okay, well, you know, let's get the dog first. Everybody does the dog thing first. Like, get a dog, it's like a kid, see how you do. It's not the same, but it is the same in a way. But either way, a dog is not a kid. So I love dogs, I don't like kids, and I don't want kids. Gabe doesn't want kids either, so we're good in there. We're just gonna have dogs. But yeah, they were always hassling me. And one of the times I had a severe reality check was when his sister, my sister-in-law at the time, she was like, "Oh yeah, and you know when you're freelance and we've got the babies, we can just take them, you know, and go out for the day to the beach and take them to the thing." I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. Like, none of that sounds actually like something I want to do. And I tried to picture myself, like, getting a kid out of a minivan or something, and I was like, no. What? Like, this is not me at all. Like, I couldn't even... I think some people seriously actually want kids. Like, it's a like, I want them thing. Kind of like I want dogs, but kids. So I get it if they want kids like I want dogs. I understand that, but kids are not something I want at all. Hell no. I have too much that I want to do. It is from a selfish place. And, you know, there's too much about kids I don't like. So, I feel like if you got a good kid, you hit the lottery. That's crazy, King. Oh God, Jamie, but that's 10 years. You know how much you can get done in 10 years if you don't have a kid? Man. Yeah, I could see that, Marina. I could totally see that. But she has like 4 or 5 kids now, and she's 5 years younger than me. I think her oldest she had when she was like 18. So I think she was like a teen mom. And I'm just like, I think she just wants somebody to suffer with her, in all honesty, because she's one of those wine moms who loves wine. And, you know, she likes having play dates with her kid. And, like, that sounds like hell to me. I don't want anything to do with that. Sorry. I think that's boring. I'd rather watch dogs, like, jump on each other and stuff or something. Or just, you know, do something else. Not that. Because in my opinion, you're not watching them to see, like, how good they do at something. You're watching them to make sure they don't kill themselves. Which seems like, ugh, I don't want that job. Humans are so exhausting. I have enough trouble with him, and I love him to death, you know? Really? Oh man, shut. I'm with you, dude. I get it. I get it. We're with you. I think a lot of people nowadays are kind of this mentality, you know, especially since the expense too. Like, that does play a part in it. And the weight of the world being as crappy as it is. Ooh, sorry, burps. And bringing a kid into that? No, man. No, I'm scared to death we're gonna have, like, some sort of pollution, nuclear fallout, something at some point. It's like, I don't want a kid in that. I mean, I don't want them to grow up in that, and I don't want to have to raise them in that. Like, that sounds awful. Ha ha ha, Jamie. Yeah, right, Serenity? Oh, man. I mean, you're at least a joy, you know. You're worth it. Don't think you're not. Yeah, I could see that too, Jamie. Like, I am such a worrier when it comes to certain things that I think if I did have a kid, yeah, I would project that completely. It's like I either care too much or I tell myself to go the other way and I don't care at all, both of which are pretty negative and destructive when it comes to having a kid. Like with the dogs, you know, that's easier. But, oh, public school. I could see that. What are you doing? Are you still tired? Oh, my sleepy baby. You already ate. Did you finish your noms? Did you check? Go finish your noms. You got noms. Go look. Yeah, public school. It's probably, I know it sounds weird, but it's probably better nowadays than it was back then. Obviously not in the school shooting sense, but maybe in the sense of like bullying, I think is at least kind of, I don't know, it seems like it's handled. Like kids seem smarter nowadays where they don't do the stupid bullying. Like I got called Rashly in middle school. Now I will give the bullies credit. That's clever. Alright, that is damn good writing. Okay, I had eczema all over my face. Some people called me rat face, which, okay, that's good. But Rashly, incorporating my name, that's good. Like, that is some smart kid. So, that I'll give him props for. Didn't mess me up too bad. I'm fine. No, I'm fine. There was a shooting at yours? Ugh, that's so weird. Shootings. Weird. I mean, Serenity, that's probably true, but that could be said for anybody's kid. Like, my parents probably would have liked not having me too, because of finances and other things. My parents were horrible. But I'm sure you could say that about any kid, but a lot of parents would probably say, well, they're worth it. You know, same with my dogs. Bruni just got a new cool, what is this, a cool harness. It's got her name on it. We didn't have to buy that for her, but she's getting so fucking big. But, you know, I'm proud to give her things. I love it. She's great. Oh, I had eczema very bad. My mom had eczema, allergies, and asthma, and the doctors told her, well, your daughter's probably going to have some of those, if not all of them. Luckily, I didn't get asthma, but I did get allergies, and I did get eczema, and I got eczema bad when I was a kid. Like I said, it was all over my face. I looked like I had acne when I was like 10. It sucked. Especially because it would bleed randomly. Yeah, parents like that are bad. We don't talk to our parents. Like, I don't talk to my dad very often, and the last time I did, I was like, well, I live in Illinois now, and he's like, why the hell do you live in Illinois? I was like, because my life took me here. Because we don't talk, you know, like, ever. Maybe once a year sort of scenario. And it's only on email. I haven't called him in forever. I don't even know his phone number anymore. Stuff like that, but it's like, why are you saying, why the hell did you move there? It's like, what do you want me to say? I mean, what do I say to that? You know, like, I'm just gonna say what makes sense, I guess. Because I moved from Minnesota to Wisconsin, and I think that was the last time he knew I moved. And then I moved to Illinois, and then he asked me why I moved to Illinois. It's like, why didn't you ask me why I moved to Wisconsin? Like, what? Why is this a big deal? I mean, granted, I'm 7 hours away from Minnesota now, but whatever. I want to know why you're in Indiana, son. Honestly, Illinois is nice. Like, the place we live in right now, it's really nice. It's just a typical suburban town. It might be on the higher end of things. It's nice. I don't know. I see nothing wrong with where I'm at. I don't like cities. I like suburbs, so I can't even speak to, living in Chicago or whatever. Gabe's sister is a lawyer, and she lives in Chicago proper, so she's actually in the city, and I can't do that. I hate cities so much. Every time I go to New York, I have a problem just because it's like, I don't like the dogs peeing on concrete and stuff like that. I don't like the garbage at night being out and that smell and how it looks. It's like every time you're reminded how much we excrete in terms of, materialistic waste, and it just drives me crazy. And then when I would walk to New York Comic Con, I'd obviously be dressed like an elf, and I'd be walking past like this whole strip of homeless people, and I feel this immense guilt, and just, it drives me crazy. I don't even know how to process that half the time. So there are parts of Illinois that are a little podunk. I'll give you that. Oh yeah, there's lots of cons in Chicago. Chicago is a ton. Little ones, big ones, anime ones, comic ones, great. It's Gabe's hometown, basically. So I had moved from Minnesota, Wisconsin. He moved from Illinois to Wisconsin. We kind of met and gelled there. And then we came back here to Illinois. So he is in his, element. Really, Serenity, that's really interesting. Yeah, in New York, it seems like it's just put on the street or on the sidewalk, and they just pick it up at night. It's really crazy. Did she finish her dinner? Do you know? She keeps falling asleep. Gabe, I can't believe this. I wonder if she's taking after Butters. 3 to 4 hours out. I'd say C2E2 would be worth it. ASUN. Yeah, those would be worth it. Oh, it attracts animals. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, Butters! It's okay. No nightmares. Come on. Hey, you okay? Yeah? You're not gonna sleep tonight. You guys are sleeping for 2 hours straight. Oh, we're gonna have to take them on a long walk. Okay. Let's see. Alright, I guess I can stir in the pastels actually. I think we're there. Let me do a couple other things here. I think I'm gonna make that text gold too. Is this still my playlist? Oh, I don't think it is. Weird. I wonder why I did that. Oh, it's because it wasn't on repeat. Wow. Oh, that sucks. That means I could have been playing copywritten music this whole time. Ugh. Twitch. You're killing me. Alright, let's do the gold up here, because I don't want to skip that. Marina, is it alright if I send this out on Monday to you? Is that alright? I didn't know when you actually needed this. I had asked for a due date, but I don't think we actually had talked about it. Hi, Moltar. Yep, I started at 6, so a little bit different tonight. How you doing, man? Yeah, is Monday okay? You should get it by Wednesday or Thursday then. I usually do priority 2-day. I guess I could do it tomorrow. I always get nervous shipping it on Saturday though, because I know it's sitting around for a day. I don't know, that just makes me nervous. But it's up to you. If you want me to ship it tomorrow, I can do that. And I think then you'd get it Monday, Tuesday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh, sure. You want, it's on Thursday and Friday. Oh, okay. So you want somebody to be home for it? Yeah, I can do that. I think you should get it Thursday then, hopefully. Yeah, I can totally ship on Tuesday. Oh, good. Okay, I thought I was off screen. Okay. I do want to get at least the cape done with the pastels so you can see kind of what they do, even if it's not completely accurate on this camera, but I can show you at least the effect. Okay, cool. Well, you got it fast, so I wasn't sure if like you needed it early next week or what. I'm getting better at not picking my thumbs. That's one of my OCD things. I didn't know it was OCD, but apparently it is. I have a thing with picking skin on my thumbs when I get stressed or nervous or anxious. But I've been doing pretty good. Like this side only has a couple, sorta. If you guys see me with a band-aid on my thumb one day, that's a bad sign. That means I went a little too crazy. Ooh! I stopped doing cons as much, so I didn't have as many pet commissions this year, which also means I didn't make as much money. But, like I said, for my mental health, it was a lot better because I actually got some days off this year. I think last year I didn't take like a day off at all. It made me a little nutty. I'm still adjusting to freelance life. It's pretty difficult. I did draw this, yes. I did. Thank you for the follow. Serenity, yes you have. Yes you have. You did the this at least the reference sketches for your characters that I drew for you. Those ones, you've done those. You've been making progress with your sleeping stuff. You've been doing a lot. Give yourself more credit. Oh, you want to get it for his 9th birthday? Oh, when's his birthday? Oh my god. I don't think I've ever made one of these for the dog's actual birthday. That's awesome. Why don't more people do that? I love that. Oh, Serenity. You gotta start thinking of all those regular things you do as successes. That's how you build momentum, man. Everything you do that's not a failure is technically a success, and even a failure is a success in its own way. Start thinking of stuff like that. Then you never lose. July 13th? Oh man. Yeah, well, you should have it by then, for sure. I think. Yeah, you should have it, yeah. I think it's awesome. I mean, look at my job, though. I'm doing this for a living, so it's pretty great. I have lots of animals. I have a hamster, 2 dogs, maybe 3 soon. I'm an animal person. All I draw is animals. I love animals. I think animals are better than people. I don't know. I used to throw my other bulldog like crazy birthdays. I totally get it. You spoiled the shit out of them that day. Yeah, no, completely. I think it's more actually acceptable than you think, Marina. I think the people maybe you're telling it to don't understand it, but a lot of the people I talk to totally do. So believe me, there are people that agree with you. Gabe gets it, right, Gabe?
Yeah.
Gabe's a dude. Usually dudes don't get that stuff. I mean, they're family. Why wouldn't you be happy they were born, you know? I was actually, lately, I've been looking at a lot of Bruni's little puppy pics when she was a roly-poly little thing. I can't believe how big she's gotten. Like, and I know people say that, but I mean, she's only 9 months and she's now 50 pounds. That's nuts. That's a big damn dog. For like, I don't know. And people look at her and they think that she's full grown. It's like, no, she's not even a year yet. It's like, damn. So the breeder for her actually had said to wait to spay her until like around a year, because spaying can actually stunt growth, especially in bulldogs. So, you know, they say wait to spay her until she's a little bit older, because then she can reach kind of full size, and then, you know, then you can do it. And we were like, okay, that sounds good. I didn't know she'd get like, I mean, I knew she'd get big, but this quick? The little girl's all grown up. Also, I want to thank all my regulars that are in here for being so cordial and kind to people that are also in here. You guys are really, really awesome streamer people, like watchers, friends, fans, whatever. Because I've been to some streams where some people are just heinous. Absolutely heinous. Always talking about themselves, trying to one-up other people, you know, just ripping on other people. This, I gotta admit, you guys are great at being in the chat. And just nice people overall. Gabe and I feel very blessed. And apparently Gabe feels very tired. Are you tired? You are? Oh. It's really cool when you feel yourself actually level up in art. Like the other day, probably a week or so ago, I actually felt myself level up with my line work. Like my hand was just so steady and I could pull a line down just lickety-split and it felt so good. It's like even like a month ago, for some reason, I would have either a shaky hand or my line would just turn out super wonk. But I don't know, it's felt pretty cool to just be able to just... Gabe has been doing that forever, but that's because comics got his line art down pat. I mean, the super haters, the one that just come in here and just start being disgusting or something, yeah, I block those. Of course I do. But, I mean, there are some people that are just mean or whatever, and it's like, I think we did weed a couple of those out early on. There are some people that were in our Discord that are no longer in our Discord because they are not the best people. So, yeah, we do try to weed them out, but I think they weed themselves out too. Yeah, leveling up, man, feels great. Especially like when you can actually feel it as it's happening. You're like, whoa, I can do this. It feels like a superpower for a minute. And you're like, man, I hope I can hold on to this. Like, you get scared that it's gonna go. But I think at that point, it's become muscle memory, but you're just now becoming like cognizant of it, I believe. Does that sound right, Gabe?
I think sometimes people don't like reflect on the things that they actually know. They just worry too much that they're not good. They're not as good as the person that they admire.
Well, no. I think you're talking about something else.
I understand what you're saying though, but I was just adding that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about what I was talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but
it is muscle memory, right, for the most part?
Yeah.
So it's like that means I think at some point that you've done enough of something where it's kind of taking over. So it's actual physical validation that you've gotten to a place. That feels cool. Like, I don't know, it's like there's fanfare in my head from a level up da-da-da-da-da-da-da type thing. It's neat. So self-publishing, I know we were talking about that a little bit ago, is hard. It takes a lot of time. We are doing that Journey June free class for the people that finish Journey June about self-publishing. And it sucks because you can tell them about it and you can teach it on how to do it, but it gets difficult when you don't have enough money to do it. And that's kind of where Kickstarter comes in. But if you're me, let's say me in particular, and you need another run of a book or you need a sequel of a book printed, like let's say my second Pets and Armor book with my other 200 to 300 portraits I've done since the first book, it's hard to get the time to do it, and it's hard to get the money to do it, because to get a good chunk of them, you need like $500. So, unless you've got like $500 laying around, or you start a little fund for setting aside money, you can't really self-publish a nice, perfect bound book.
Well, I think you can do it with like 100 or 200, but then the places where you can get them printed drop dramatically.
Yeah.
The quality drops dramatically, and then also your margin drops dramatically. So
that's a really good point to put. Yeah.
You might be able to print a book, but it might cost you like $15 to print it.
Which that's actually very expensive when it comes to printing books.
And then it's like, plus the shipping, you end up making like $1.
Yeah. So, honestly, making the book is probably the easiest part of self-publishing. I'll be honest. Does anybody else get nervous when their dogs sleep too much that they're going to have to tire them out extra hard before going to sleep? Oh, absolutely, Jamie. Of course I do. How can I not? Thank you. Okay, like I said, pastels. Let's go. One more thing, and then let's go. Pastels. Okay. The cape. Okay, so right now I used one color of green for the cape. And then I took a white colored pencil and I did the highlights, and I took a brown colored pencil, which I've been doing all of it with, and I did the shadows. However, that really can bring the saturation of the piece down using the white, but when you're using pastels, when you put the white in, it's actually gonna tell the pastel, hey, sit on this, I guess, and it'll make the pastel lighter, if that makes sense. So, I'll show you. I gotta move my microphone though. Sorry if this is loud. Is that better? Still hear me okay? Oh, but they don't get any exercise with being driven around. I think the reason Bruni's so strong is we play with her hard, and we take her for walks like every day, once or twice. Like, she's all muscle, this bulldog.
She's not overweight.
She's not?
Saying like, I don't know if she is actually not overweight.
Oh, I thought you said the vet said she's not overweight.
No.
Oh. I mean, she might be a little bit.
I'm thinking not.
That's true. I mean, maybe not. Okay, so you can see here that it's popping a bit more, right? See how much more saturated that is? And then that also blends the pencil together a lot better too, so you don't get that grainy look. So you can see here how smooth that is compared to right here. So, and then here's the green with the white versus the green with the pastel. Big difference, right? Big difference. So you bring the color back through here, and this way I don't have to buy as many marker colors, thankfully, because I can tint the marker either more blue or more, or rather more cold or more warm with pastels, as well as smoothing them over, which I wouldn't normally get. So it's a really win-win situation for me. And then I go back again in case I have any blurry areas, and I sharpen them up again with that pencil. So this part to me is kind of magical, just because it takes all the values and kind of, it feels like a, honestly, like a Photoshop trick. Is she eating her noms? No, stop her.
I don't think she has any.
Yeah, she does. But Butters hasn't eaten dinner yet.
Hey, you know about it.
And Bruni's being a fatty, eating Butters' food. It's funny because Bruni was eating Butters' food, so I was like, well, I'll just go get the non-small breed version of that food for Bruni. And I did, and she still eats Butters' food, even though her food is the exact same, just not the same size. So then I took her food and I put it in the NutriBullet to get the size down, and I guess that kind of worked. She ate it earlier, but apparently now she's trying to eat Butters' food again. They don't. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, we know they have weight charts. Believe me, I know. I have to pay close attention to that for bulldogs, but lately it's just we've been feeding Bruni the same amount of food for a while because since she's still technically puppy, I don't know if she's overweight yet for a puppy or if she's technically an adult yet. So she's kind of, I think, in between there. It's kind of hard to tell when a bulldog's overweight. They say that you can kind of tell by if they have like an inch or so of fat around their rib cage, but I mean, what dog doesn't have like an inch or so around that? Yeah. I mean, if they're a stocky breed by nature, yeah. I mean, there are some bulldogs, though, you can tell they are overweight. They barely can move. Like, technically, Bruni's aunt, a little bit too hefty for her size, but she's still gorgeous, but she's a big girl. And then bringing some yellow in here to make it look more silky. So the cool thing about when you start like researching textiles and fabrics and clothes and stuff is I realized that the formula for a lot of silk is very similar to metal. So if you kind of shade silk similar to metal, you'll get the effect you want, which I think is kind of cool. There's a trick in how to deal with colors though with silk. Like the hot spots aren't necessarily white, they're just a really bright version of that one color. So that can be hard. That's true too, they look fat because of the fur. Yeah. Totally true. goodness. We do know that Butters is overweight because the foster overfed her pretty hardcore. Which, I mean, for a dog that's been through some shit, I think it's okay that she gets a little big for a bit just so she gets kind of spoiled for once. But we are already trying to bring her back down. But obviously by feeding her still what she needs and stuff. But she is fat. Like, holy crap, for her size, she is fat. She should not be this big. Still cute, though. Oh, really, Serenity? Okay. Luckily, she was only with the foster for 3 months, so if we think about it that way, so 3 months ago, then that means that she was still in that terrible situation. Or at least getting surgery, because she also had like 12 malignant tumors removed. Something like that. Like, she went through a ton of surgery. She had almost all of her teeth removed. She has really bad breath. No, I haven't done a portrait of my animals yet. The first one I was actually going to do was my hamster, because I had the hamster before I had the 2 dogs. And I was gonna make him. It is hard to do your own pets. I'll be honest, but since his name is Kukui, which is basically the Mexican boogeyman, we named him Kukui because he looks kind of like a shadow. He's got some gradient to him. It's really cute. It's very fitting for him. He's got that attitude too, but he's kind of a thunder ham, which when he's in his wheel, he has this very rhythmic da-dun, 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 right? So since he's got his name Kukui, and he's kind of this dark, kind of brooding old man, I thought of him like a death drummer, basically. Like maybe he's in your nightmares and stuff, and he's drumming. So he'd basically be a bard. Because he can keep a really steady beat. But I like this idea of like a death drummer. And then Bruni, I keep going back and forth with. I'm not really sure what she'd be. I thought for a bit she'd be a barbarian, but then since Butters has come along, her personality's kind of changed. I think Butters would be like a seer, half because she's somewhat blind, so she's got one eye in the underworld or something. But she's also just so chill. She doesn't like to play. She kind of crones, like she's like, like she's got a cackle to her. So she could be like maybe a witch. She's not evil though, so that's the thing. So maybe she'd be a good witch, something like that. But Bruni, yeah, she loves to play and chew things. She loves toys. She also loves to run and chase. Yeah, this is why I tell owners too, it's good to have an outside opinion. That's what I'm for, because I'll get people that come up to my booth and they're like, oh yeah, my cat, total rogue. And I get this all the time. People either think their cats are rogues or royalty. And a lot of the time they do end up being royalty. But I tell them, I'm like, hey, give me a stab first, then you can tell me if you agree or not. If you still want the rogue after I take a shot at it, then we'll do the rogue. And they're usually like, okay, alright, I'll take you up on that. And so we do it, and then I'm like, nah, dude, your cat's like a battle bard for this, and this reason. And they're like, oh man, that's on point. And I'm like, yes. There's only been a couple times I've been kind of way off, but usually that's because I don't have all the information. And they're like, well, she isn't that loud. And I'm like, okay, so they wouldn't be a bard then. Because in my mind, there's certain things they have to be a certain thing. technically this is the first king I've ever drawn, or rather battle king, with a mace. So that's fun. I was really happy about that when that came to my mind. I was like, oh yeah, if he's violent, this would be perfect. I think I would do them separately. Like, if I switched the script and if I was buying for me, I would do individual portraits, which is the most expensive way to go, but I would be stubborn about it and I would want them each to have their own. But the nice thing about getting them all in one is if they do have some kind of rapport with each other. But Bruni and Butters, they don't really, there's nothing there, there's no relationship. But I do say, like, if you have one pet that protects another pet, or one pet that's in love with another pet, like, this is cute. I just got done with one. Actually, maybe I could show it. I'll have to put it up, but the one I shipped out today had a big old black lab girl, and she was a scholar. And this little, like, I think he's like a golden mixed with, it was like a golden retriever mixed with something smaller. It wasn't a poodle. It was something else because he wasn't curly or anything, but he was small, very small. And he was short compared to her, but he had a crush on her. And he ended up being a bard. So, but he was annoying, so I gave him an accordion instead of a lute, which a lute would be the romantic way to go. But for a little guy that's trying to get her affections and is annoying, an accordion is like the way to go. So she's like looking at him like, okay, maybe. And he's like, yeah, girl, you know, and he's got the accordion. It's cute. Anyway, I like stuff like that because, you know, I get to actually take their experiences and stuff and work them in, and their, you know, how they interact with each other. But if I can't really do that with my own, you know, like I said, like Bruni and Butters doesn't really. So I'd want Bruni to have her own, you know, with her toys in an epic stance or something. And then Kukui, I would also want to have his own, because obviously he doesn't really interact with the other dogs, you know. But yeah, someday I will do them. I'm guessing, unfortunately, that Cuckoo's will probably be... I'm guessing I'll feel very obligated to do it when he dies, which honestly might come sooner rather than later, because they only live for about 2 to 3 years. And I've had him probably for about that now. Over a year at least. Right, Gabe?
Yeah.
We got him not this past February, but the February before that. So I'm guessing by next year he's probably going to be gone, which that's just their thing. That's how long they stay. And I'm guessing by that time I'll be like, oh my god, I have to do his portrait. So you'll probably see it then. But he is so beautiful. He has the most pretty coloring. He's a Syrian hamster, so he has long hair, which kind of sucks to maintain. You gotta brush them with like a toothbrush to make sure it doesn't mat, because they get all gross, especially boy hamsters. If you are thinking about getting a hamster and you don't want to deal with grossness, because boy hamsters are very gross, get a girl ham. Girl hamsters are usually a lot more tidy. Did you? Oh my god, Eliza, tell me, I need to know. Eliza dream prophesized that we were getting Butters, basically. And it's really weird because we had not given any indication we were looking for another dog at all. And she's like, this really weird thing happened to me last night. And she told us, and we were like, we're going to get a dog today. That's really weird, right? I need to know, Eliza, you gotta tell me. Eliza's our resident prophet. So if you make an impression with her, maybe you'll get prophesized about. I don't know.
Butters, honey, you've been sleeping all day. You're stinky, too.
She's so stinky. Okay. Green. Green, 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 green. Oh, God. I'm just going to call you as Moda. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. How are you today? More gem. Right? Yeah, Liza's really good at it. Granted, she dreamt it was a dachshund, so 75%. We'll give her 75, but that's still pretty good. As far as, you know, premonitions are concerned, that's pretty good. I imagine her typing furiously right now. Hopefully this one's not bad. I didn't think that maybe it could be bad. Now I'm thinking it could be bad. Uh-oh. Maybe it's about our other dog. I was telling her maybe she's just a dog prophet. She tells people when they're gonna get dogs. Old college roommate going to like an Eastern European country to buy some scarves. Legit. So I contacted her about it and she told me she's actually going to Istanbul. Shut up! Eliza! That's messed up! Oh my god, you do these the night before. That's the weirdest thing. Which sucks because you can't help anyone. They're kind of useless, but oh my god, you've at least got this skill. That's crazy. Okay, that's 2 for 2. Start writing these down, because you could make a book of your premonitions. Then you could do dailies about them if you wanted. I'm gonna just tease you about the dailies thing. Yeah, that's so crazy. Eliza, you were nuts. You get the actual thing wrong. I mean, still though, that's still pretty good odds. It's better than most people, man. I honestly don't know, but that's close enough for me, the fact that you even foretold that they bought a travel ticket, like, that day or whatever. Like, that's still impressive to me. Like, I don't even have cool dreams. Not like that. That's crazy. If I have a dream, it's usually about something dumb, like having a convention in a gas station. Which is a literal nightmare. Like, oh my god. I have been at a nightmare convention scenario, but the worst would be at a gas station. I've decided. As long as I avoid gas station con, I'm okay. I'm making it. What? What?
It would just smell like gas the entire time?
Oh, it would suck. It would suck so bad. Or like that industrial smell that's in like a gas station. No way, man. And then you had that actual dream about being in a gas station, like, kind of, and that you had to hand someone like an energy drink or something. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, it was like inside a gas station store.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, that would suck.
And
That's not a convention.
They sat me in front of the beer cooler.
That is so... Oh my god. Yeah, that's not good. You guys gotta write this shit down. Or take up tarot or something. Start channeling these energies you got. Well, at least she's chewing. You want to try to play with Butters a little? Okay. Do it, Eliza. It's not that hard. Gabe and I actually went on, if you've heard of Light Gray Art Lab, we went on an Light Gray Art Lab trip in England that was tarot themed, so we went to all these witch cities and like all these like fantasy, mystical places that have energy, and places like Stonehenge. We also got taught by like a professional tarot reader chick, like super professional, not just like locally, but like globally. That was cool. That was so scary on point. It was awesome. It was a really cool trip. I would advise anybody who kind of wants to really get out of their comfort zone and have like an actual experience. Maybe if you're locked up a lot, or you don't get out very much, or you just want to get one burst of something crazy, look into those light gray art lab trips. Because you get basically thrown into a group with other people that you've never met, and you basically get to, experience something together, and the fact you're experiencing it together brings you together. And, you might make friends, you might make enemies. Either way, you'll have an experience, and, they teach you stuff along the way because they've been to these areas a few times. So it's actually really cool. Really cool. Sometimes they have like an Iceland trip. I think they had a Scotland trip this year. And it costs like, what was it, $3,500 total for both of us? So it's probably around $2,000 to stay safe, I guess, with giving you a number. But it was more than worth it. And they take care of everything. They figure out all the housing spots, all the transportation. So honestly, in itself, it's worth it just for that, because they take care of all the shitty stuff that like is really hard to plan. So you can basically just go there. They take you everywhere. You just draw and get to take in the lore. It's really cool. Like if I was single, I would probably do that a lot. I'm glad I got to do it with Gabe though, because we had a really fun time with that. We had memories, met some people. It was pretty cool. And like I said, if you just need to get out of your shell, like, instantly, that's a really good way to do it. Like, if you want to meet some people and also get some, like, mythology and also get some art and people and places, that's the way to do it. Light Gray Art Lab. Yeah. It's, abbreviated like that, but it's light. They're in Minnesota, so they're from my state. They have their own gallery, but it's pretty cool. The only thing I think you have to do is just meet up at the place that they kind of designate. So you might have to meet them like in England at a certain spot at a certain time, and then they take you from there. So it's really nice. They kind of just, you get there and they take over. Eliza, I can't even tell you how much I think you'd like it. I think you'd have so much fun. You're such an easy person to get along with. You're interesting. You've got art you can share. I think you'd bring a lot to the table. I think you'd have fun. What time is it? 9? Alright. Been streaming for about 3 hours. Hello, Jackinator. What to do? What, Gabe? What? Is he? Oh. I knew it! I knew right as he said that.
I can't even spell.
Bye, Fire Seal. Show me your bobs.
Show me your bobs.
I'll show him my bobs.
And
What are...
I
let's
guess
think
that's
about bobs.
so
Bobbins?
So that you can, so in case boobs is like...
Well, I would spell B-E-W-B.
Yeah.
Or with 2 zeros, if you're avoiding it. Bobbing doodles, y'all. Bye, Fire Seal. Thanks for coming. You guys should go look at Fire Seal's Instagram if you haven't before. It's a treat. You'll be happy you did. Alright. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Alright. Morena, if you're still here, is there anything else you'd like to see? I'm gonna do like a final pass of this at some point, but I kind of want to be off the stream to do it just so I can like focus better on it and so I don't just finish it without thinking of what I'm doing in the end here. Oh, Bruni, what's wrong? You miss me? Oh, you're so sweet. My wrinkly one. Oh, you got the bad breath. Yeah? You gonna whine? Give me some whines. Oh. Yeah. There it is. Just like going over lines again. So the pastel kind of blurs out some of the lines. I'm gonna do the whole thing in like a white halo. So like the crown will stand out better. And like the scepter will be more separate from the banner. A lot of things that I think are kind of boring for people to watch. The cool things you've seen. Maybe here, just this one other thing too. And then maybe some stuff with the fur. And then we should be probably good to go. She's gonna start barking soon, I know it. She starts whimpering and then she'll start barking. We're lucky she's been asleep this whole time. Usually she's barking like a mad woman. Are you mad at me, Mushy? Are you mad? Sometimes I can talk to her. Here you go. I'm glad you love it. So yeah, it'll have some more pops to it, but for the most part, I think we're mainly there. I'm gonna like do some more to this. Like I said, more to the fur, some separation points, some extra outlining so it feels more cohesive. But yeah, I think overall, is there anything you want me to address that you might see here that you think isn't maybe prominent enough or that you'd like me to work more on? Like I said, the color's a little bit, I wonder if the camera here is better. You can see it a little bit better here on camera, on this camera. Like at least the colors, I think, are more accurate. They're a little washed out on the other one. Eliza, those are important things. Bruni is bell trained and can tell us when she wants to go potty, but for some reason, if she just has to poop, she won't ring the bell. I don't know why. Okay. Well, Marina, if you can think of something at some point before Tuesday, I can totally fix it for you. Like if you watch part of the stream or something, you notice, oh, I want his hair to be more blah. Let me know. We have until Tuesday, right? You want it sent on Tuesday. Get Thursday. So, and then I'll email you back with the tracking number. And obviously your address is up to date. Usually if somebody has waited like a year, I make sure their address is up to date, but yours is up to date, obviously. And yeah, I'll tell you when it's been sent, give you the tracking number. And then, yeah, if you end up getting it, though, can you please leave me an Etsy review after it lets you? I think it waits a couple days, but the problem that happens is usually somebody will buy it on Etsy and it'll be a year later, and then they can't actually leave me a review anymore. So whenever I get a chance to get a review on those, I kind of eat it up because, like I said, usually it takes a long time and I never get them, so... Oh, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, and I'll end up posting on Instagram too at some point. I usually like try to dabble the portraits in with my other stuff just so it's not too much. But yeah, Okay, so I usually stream on Fridays at 4 p.m. CST for those that came in kind of later. Here are all my socials. And now she rings the bell. Gabe streams Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central. He's under Galvasaur. And then those of you waiting for the Journey June stuff, I'm going to be doing that tonight and then pimping it the next couple days just so, you know, it gets done. Anyway, thank you guys for coming so much. All of you who are here, new people, old people, regulars, I love you guys. Thank you. And Marina, I hope it was fun to watch. It's recorded and then I end up forwarding it usually to my YouTube so it doesn't disappear because sometimes old broadcasts on Twitch disappear. So if you ever want to find it in say like 2-3 years or something, it's on my YouTube. So you're so welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys have a good weekend, okay? Stay safe, eat good food, have fun, all that good stuff. Hug your dogs, okay? Thank you so much, guys. Bye!